Boom. Hi, YouTube. What's up? Welcome to Second Wake. How you doing? I don't want to edit real hard, so I like to clap on things. Thanks. So, when we last left off for episode 22 of Second Wake, which was last week, we're at 23 episodes. That is, sometimes I like to think about it and just go, that's a lot of D&D. That's a lot of talking and weird voices. That's a lot of, Anyway, but we did stuff last episode. I'm going to open it up. I'm not going to pick on anybody this week. Who wants to volunteer to tell us what happened last week? If no one volunteers, I will do it. Oh, Morgan, are you volunteering?
I'll do it. I know.
All right.
I said I would.
The floor is yours.
Woman of my word.
On International Whammons Day, I'm so proud of you.
Whammon. So
Whammon.
gross. Okay. I don't have a lot of notes, but basically we sat down with the Donnie, is it Piscopone?
Piscopones.
And for some reason nobody would tell him why we were there. And I'm really glad Morgan was outside because she would have gotten real annoyed because he just kept talking himself up. And basically we were there to broker an agreement from Antonio. I don't have his last name. To basically tell the workers that they weren't allowed to have holidays and all that fun stuff and see what we could do about it. We found out that according to fairy law, which Colt is very well versed in, that the land was only owned for 3 generations by Antonio's family, and now it's Donnie's land. But he doesn't want... As far as I know, he didn't want to own it. Like, he did want to own it, but... we ended up brokering a deal while I was outside. That... Basically, it's 3 more generations. Is that correct?
Give or take.
Yeah. 3 more generations that he has the deal. He said that they would get a gold and 10 silvers a day. Oh, sorry, 1 gold and 3 silvers a day.
There you go. And
if their quotas are met, they would get any time off that they would want. Donnie said he would only take the deal if he gets the title of Protector of Ravon. And we ended up making a deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And while celebrations erupted, Morgan decided to test her skills, which is a terrible idea, outside of the world. But Morgan's pleased with it. Basically, she tried to flick a little stick at Donnie to see if he could be hit. And she's too strong. Just has all the strength in the world of a barbarian, you know, and she just javelined him through the chest. He exploded. Chaos ensued. All of the pixies decided to call Morgan the Murderous Cleaner, which is a fun name. Super great. Come to find out that wasn't Donnie. It was Jimmy. He's just a weak bitch. So... Wow. He couldn't take it. I bet Donnie wouldn't have died. I'm just saying.
Donnie is a little bit fatter than Jimmy. I'll give you that.
But basically, Morgan was cursed to be as small as the pixies or smaller. And she hopped on Chunkini and dipped out of there before anything else could happen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so you pretty much covered it. There was a lot of RP last week. Fun stuff to talk about. A deal getting brokered between Antonio de Magnanis and Donnie, the Don Piscopones. The Seekers of Galanti saw to it that justice would be served and that all of the great things in the realm would be taken care of, specifically in this corner of the realm. In attempting to make good on a thinly veiled kind of taunt by the pixie, Morgan decided to, as lightly as possible, throw a stick at a 3-inch tall person and then realized, by God, I'm really, really good at throwing sticks. So yeah, was cursed with being made small, and even then, we can't realistically make a fully grown woman, even with magic in 5th edition, which is kind of weird. You can't really make a full grown woman smaller than like 1/16 scale. So it does open the fun idea that like you could have a toy character, but we're not gonna get into that today. If you're out there and you're running a game, you could technically turn people into toys. I'm just saying, if you have a toy master, I'm just saying, it's a thing. DC Comics, look it up. With that, yeah, that's about where we're at. After their altercation at the Pixie Party, going through and finishing out, let me see here, there we go. Finishing out their adventure and more or less reason for being here. Turn the rhythm up. There we go. The party now finds themselves seeking shelter and rest at a nearby empty building that has been kind of provided to them by the mercy of the pixies. Some have things to do, or others are just simply seeking a bit of reprieve before hitting the open road once again. So yeah, that's where we're at. You all arrive at what appears to be, by all intents and purposes, a standard human home that is large and very much well built for humans or any characters that or peoples that might be of quote unquote standard size, even though the village is primarily pixies and small fae folk. It seems as if these villages have been built and the effort in these buildings as well have been constructed to grant the illusion that the village itself is a normal, happy, wonderful place with normal, normie human peoples. For whatever reason or deflection that might serve. As you all enter into the old cottage that has been provided to you, you note there are a number of small beds, tables, chairs, everything as far as furniture that you might need to enjoy the beauty that is cottagecore. It is all well made, hand stitched, and many of them, upon very close inspection, for those of you of keen eye and keener still views, can see that while the chairs are normal looking, the nails that hold them together are the smallest, tiniest nails placed together in very hammered, neat groupings to look like regular nails, but you can tell very clearly they're tiny little pixie nails that have made most of this furniture. So yeah, but you all arrive in. You are within the village of Tiber Village, or within the village of the village. There you go, that's a sentence. Take a shot. And for at least now, you've been told that this will be a safe place for you while you decide what your next motion or motive is to do. It is at this time later in the afternoon of the same day, but not so late as to be like into the evening. It's more just a bit past 1-ish, being that you guys started very early in the morning and we're in debates and decisions throughout most of the day as it is. But the floor is yours, Seekers of Galanti. A mission still yet to do, and very much choices abundant for how you would like to proceed. I will turn it over.
Was the couple still waiting for us?
They've been waiting outside for quite some time, but as you turn, you kind of look around, you know that they've already been situated in their own little cottage and seemingly have been already taken care of for what business they seem to have been awaiting your protection of. As much of the village itself has now revealed itself, or has been revealed. Oof, words are definitely killing me today. Sorry for everyone watching. Has been revealed to be of fae folk, being that the jig is up and they were effectively among your company. Their worries and fears of these large, hollow, armored creatures have seemingly been vanished, and they seem to be casually enjoying the company of their own cottage and an actual roof over their heads for weariness from the road.
Good. I just kind of look down at Morgan for a little bit.
Morgan looks up at you, craning her neck. She is, again, about the size of a standard issue action figure. and she is strode across the back of a bell-footed cat named Chunkini, the most proud and powerful mount this side of Ravon.
So we need to decide what we're doing next. I need to get a tooth. Any volunteers, or should I go see if I can buy one off of that nice couple?
I suppose I got an extra, I guess. I'm gonna whip out a knife.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna Ron Swanson it.
Oh, God. Okay. Are you trained in sleight of hand, Colt?
Am I trained in sleight of hand? I'll have to pull up my character sheet, which I thought I already pulled up, but I guess D&D Beyond
Look at this.
says nah, dog.
23 episodes. What an amateur. What an amateur. I'm kidding.
Sleight of hand? No, I'm not.
Okay. Just give me a straight up dexterity check.
I got you, bruh.
Pull the knife out. You angle it. You press the tip of it into your gum.
Oh. Do checks? Do ones matter on checks? It's
No.
just
I mean, they're thematically, but is it a natural one?
yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's no worries,
But
man.
it's a 4 total.
4 total. That's good, brother. Don't worry about it. 4 is, I was going to tell you the DC was 4, but instead I'm going to just describe what happens if that's cool with you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, just, in the effort of fairness, I want equal time and all that. So you all watch Vel ask the group, hey, does anyone have a tooth? I'll ask the couple, if they'll sell me one or something, but I just need a tooth. Colt pulls out, again, Colt being Colt, and his cowboy self, his samurai cowboy self, reaches into his bag and produces a dagger in the kind of the shape and form of a large Bowie knife, a David Bowie knife made by David Bowie, namesake, obviously, and takes it and angles it into the open side of his jaw. He pushes down, fearing nothing, and goes, and it gets a little stuck. And of course, like every person with a knife who, when it gets stuck, you just got to force it a little bit. So he takes his other hand and kind of just slaps the hilt ever so slightly. You watch as the knife tears into his gum out down through the bottom of his jaw and rips open the side of his lip, curling both pieces of the side of his lip outward, almost like a piece of wrapping plastic. Blood sprays down from the side of his face, down through his cheek, coating his already red skin in this kind of small coat of crimson. And you can see his lip is now kind of torn on one side and hangs limply, a kind of in a frump out to the other side. Vel, you hear, and you look, and you can see the bottom pair of Colt's molars have been carved out with an actual chunk of his jaw that has been just snapped with this very sharp dagger, not a knife, a dagger. And it lands there in a grouping. There is muscle mass and kind of all of the texture of tissue holding the two pieces together, and it sits now in a small collected pool of blood. Colt sits there and goes, I get it. Colt, you take 1 point. I'm sorry, it's 1 plus your strength modifier.
So we're gonna take 5 points.
You take 5 points of damage.
Thank you, Colt. That was very generous.
You're welcome. I think I messed up a little bit.
Cole, what the hell? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Just a little scratch
No,
or something.
you come here. Come here. Get down on
in the
me.
wind.
All right.
Orville
is gonna it's gonna take Colt's head in his hands, kind of cradle his face, and channel some of his monk healing abilities into Colt's face.
Okay. So you
attempt to at least stop the bleeding.
Sure. You hold both kind of torn pieces, this large gash that runs down the side of his lip all the way down to the base of his chin, and you hold it in your hand and kind of muttering a bit to yourself, and you do the old school doctor, warm up the hands, until there's a bit of friction, and you press with a bit of heat and intensity, these old monkish techniques, and they burn slightly and fuse the torn pieces of skin together. Colt now is healed, for you can enjoy your healing, but now has a large kind of crooked looking carving scar from the bottom of his lip down to his chin. And then however much your healing hands heals for, Orville. I don't know.
I think it's 1d4 plus 2.
Well, you roll that, young man.
That was certainly unique.
I'll pick
That's
up
6
Colt's
points.
generous offer.
You pick up the chunk of teeth. You're just like, thanks, man. It's got a firm stick of cartilage that's holding it together. Like he gouged that bastard, like it was like cutting into cookie cake. Just
There was a soldier back in the day named Smiley, right? And he didn't have no teeth, but he always said, less teeth means that people got to chew your food for you. So I've always subscribed to that belief. I'm just saying.
Colt,
I just think he wants some more room for dip.
I just have
No,
one thing
shut
to
up.
say to you. It is very good that you find yourself so attracted to orcs, because you're just working on something that I think is really going to attract the ladies that you like.
All right. I'm not blushing. You're blushing. Get
Just
out of here, Belle.
when you tell the story of how you got that, it was like an ogre or something that you barehandedly fought.
Yeah, can
I
we
mean,
get our
no, it's
shit-
probably tougher to say, nah, I pulled it out my damn self with my knife.
Yeah, I guess that could go over well.
Someone needed a tooth, and I was quick on the draw, and I pulled it out.
A
I
real
think I got
problem.
two
Certainly
teeth, though. Can I have one of those teeth back?
You can? Absolutely. There's a lot of muscle and sinew and with you. I'll just hand it over to him so he can.
what you have is you have the bottom part of your jaw, this like kind of connective tissue that holds two of your molars, and they're just sitting there. And these are handed to you in a pair. What do you
Alright,
want to do?
I'm gonna sit down Indian style, and I'm gonna plate mail on my leg. I'm gonna chop it in half so that I can cut both teeth apart.
I'm not gonna make
Colt.
you roll for that. Yeah, you do it. I'm not. I've described horrible things already. You do it. We're just gonna hold on. Wait.
I can stop.
Woo. Hand wave. You do it. No, it's all right. My brain immediately went to how do I hurt him for doing this? But that's the wrong way to DM. Okay. Your fun is valid. Yes, you cut your teeth, and you split your teeth in half with the same Bowie knife you carved them out of your face with. Done. Yes, it happens. There we go. Canon. All right, good. You have two pieces you have two teeth now separated.
Here you go. You can have this one.
Thank you.
It's a bigger one.
That's
a bigger
very
half.
generous. I actually really do appreciate it. I think you were a bit overzealous, but I thank you.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, you're welcome.
What's your word for it? You were very gung ho. Is that
Okay,
it?
I know what that means.
Yes.
I guess I was. I took out one too many, but it's all right. Hey, Orville.
Yes, Colt.
Want to do something with this? I know you like weird things like that.
What, your tooth?
Yeah. You want to stick it on your
No.
bag or something? All right, I'll keep it. I'll give it to somebody.
You can keep that one. I'm gonna step outside for a moment and get me some air.
I think
I had
I'll
a-
join you.
Side note: I had a very tiring day, and I'm a little bit delirious. This seems out of character for me completely.
I couldn't tell. I like it. This is the new Colt 2.0.
I've also been rereading the Divine Comedy for my other campaign, and I guess things are getting weird.
Yeah,
It's starting to affect me.
yeah. We're like 30 minutes in, man. If you need
you
help,
ripped out a tooth, dude.
yeah, like if you're okay, this is a warning sign. Please let me know.
My original plan was going to be to like offer the poor people like 5 plat and be like, Orville here's a dentist, he'll take care of it.
You're gonna pay 50 gold for a tooth?
Yeah, I wanted to make it really generous. And like, be like, I'll set you up for your whole life if you just give me what I need right now.
I think on goblin principle, Orville would stop you, but I don't know what his goblin law is. So yeah, JJ
It's
and
totally
Orville,
a dentist.
I want to be a dentist. Orville and JJ, you both head outside. You stand in kind of aghast horror, having watched Colt just mutilate part of himself for the cause, I guess you could say. Colt, you hold the one tooth in your hand, roll it around a bit. Again, the kind of wetness and goo. I'm going to say goo. I'm a trained medical professional. I'm using the word goo to describe a tooth. This is terrible. This is a bad night. But you hold it and roll it between your fingers, and you can write on your inventory that you have one of your teeth. Might make a cool gift to somebody. I don't know.
Just shove it back in.
Yeah, Val, you may also add that you have one of Colt's teeth.
I'm only going to have it for a few hours. So.
I mean, but you have it. In case there's a reason you don't want to get the thing you bartered for.
Can I clean it off if I use prestidigitation to remove, like, the muscle that's no longer, like, really...
I think that's probably on the line for what you can use prestidigitation for. I think prestidigitation is, like, if something is, like, able to be brushed off or cleaned, you could do it. But I don't think you can, like, use prestidigitation to, like, prepare a deer, right? I feel like that's not in the limits. So I kind of think this is like...
It's so tore up, I thought it might be like...
Yeah, I'm going to say no because of slippery slope for me saying yes to a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. You use it for everything anyway. Fucking, it's a good spell.
I channel a small amount of necrotic energy, just make the flesh fall off it.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, sure. I'll give you that one. Yeah, why not? Yeah. That seems horrific and good to fill us out. You're like, let me clean this up, and then you're like, no, let me just corrupt it a little bit, and then it'll like decay. Get a little cavity on it. No big deal. So yeah, Orville and JJ head outside. Colt and Vel continue to be creepers. Morgan, you watch these giant people do this crazy shit. Alice in Wonderland full tilt at this point. Like, what is reality as they stab each other and bleed all over the place? You're watching like pools of blood drain out of Colt's face and splash like a crescendo of a river down into the area of which you are now looking up and occupying. What is it you want to be doing?
I don't want to be here. I don't want to watch this.
You're gonna watch this?
No, I just want to... Just gonna turn Chonkini around.
Okay. Chonkini, watching this out, Chonkini is licking their paw, and you're like... He's like... Wow. You're like, come on. You're like, Chonkini does not want to move. You have to grab Chonkini by like the back of his tuft and like yank with all your might. But after enough goading and a little bit of use of your arcane affinity with Chonkini, the cat begrudgingly stands up and uses half of its movement, all 5 feet, to... Chonkini never really lifts its ass up so much as it puts its front paws up and just kind of drags the bulk of its body in a semicircle to face away from this horrible scene. Bucky, is there anything you want to be doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna shape water for a little bit of ice for Colt.
Okay, you throw your hands in the air. There's some moisture in the air, but nothing more than like a few ice chips you'd be able to put together. But if you have your like water skin or anything that is actually like a water source, you can do it that way.
Yeah, I'll use my water skin.
Okay,
Pour some water.
I'm totally cool with the Avatar: The Last Airbender theme here, but at a certain point, I can't be like, yeah, you just turn regular air into fucking icicles. Like that's a bit much. Ice Knife does that though. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you pull out from your water skin. Use what is it? Shape water.
Mm-hmm.
To freeze and cool it, and then eventually work it into a small block, a compacted block of ice, and you reach out and hand it to Colt.
This might help with the pain, bud.
Oh, that's really nice of you. Thanks, Bucky. Stick it up to my mouth. The outside of my mouth, not the inside, because tooth sensitivity is painful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. So many people say it's like getting stabbed in the face. Anyway. So, JJ and Orville, the pair of you are outside. Is there anything you want to be doing?
Just a few words.
All right, go right ahead.
Oh, goodness gracious. Weavers know I don't do that well with gore. Poor man. I think he's going to be alright. Say for another scar among 50.
I'm sure he'll be fine. That was a unique reaction from him, though.
And indeed it was. Little off the books for him, if that's appropriate.
I think so. Keep an eye on him. I think.
He's made of tougher stuff, though. He'll be alright. At least physically.
Certainly. JJ's gonna just kind of look around and survey the place for the most part while they're taking a breather.
All right. You look over the area. You kind of take it in. You can see that much of Tiber Village is comprised primarily of these empty houses. The village itself is much in the way of a ghost town. As for when you first came in, you kind of assumed. Knowing now that the bulk of the workers that exist on the edges here of the Opalwood are of smaller and tinier fae, it makes it almost feel a bit like an old fairground, or a bit like you would see it like not so much a Ren fair, but like here in Florida we call it Cracker Country because it's just funny as hell. But it's like an old fairground where they recreate old pioneer living is like the thing that they advertise it as in Florida. You gotta get that feeling where it's a lot of like very pretty buildings that don't look like they have a lot of wear and tear, that are sprawled out to look like a village, but the truth that there's no lights on inside of them, nothing of that sort. Most of what you are able to discern just from standing outside is seeing that there are a number of lights dancing and kind of playfully moving about the area when it comes to the actual mills themselves. You see the one that the Dawn primarily looks over, and you can see far to the northern end of the village makings of another massive building, likely other competition for the wood and oak of the Opalwood.
Orville's also gonna kind of notice JJ kind of retch a little bit, but not successfully puke. Yeah.
He's gonna give her a pat on the back.
Better
out than in.
No, we'll be fine. I think we're good to head back in, though.
All right, if you say so. Or we'll open the door.
All right. Door swings open. You see that Colt has now held ice to his cheek. Velithil is slowly working and weaving a number of intricate cantrip magic to slowly rip and tear. It's kind of like loosening the attachment to this tooth and slowly decaying pieces of it at a time in a very controlled manner. While Bucky is... I assume at this point, Bucky's like hands on his hips, like, oh, that Colt. Meanwhile, Morrigan is still sat astride Chunkini, but she seems to be facing like the far wall and the small fireplace that's been sat in the living room, kind of averting her gaze from the nonsensical bull that is happening in the main area. But that's where you all find yourselves. Is there anything you guys want to do as far as for what's next? If you want to leave the village today, you can do so. If you want to stay here for the night and make your way along the Southern Road, you can do that as well. The choices are yours and yours alone on Legends of... Oh, I'm sorry. Second Wake. Hey, sorry. Reboot Legends of the Hidden Temple. Okay, sorry. Love that show.
I think we ought to get out of here as quickly as possible. I know Fel's waiting on her delivery, but...
But, no, my delivery will arrive wherever I place this tooth under a pillow.
Oh, well then. Probably
So
not great
that's
to
why
skip
I
already.
needed the tooth. And I also need a pillow. I don't use one of those generally. I have a blanket that I sit on.
Or
I mean, I got a pillowcase. It's not in the best condition, but it'll hold a pillow still, I think.
Oh, that'll work just fine then.
Alright.
Do we want to discuss the tiny elephant in the room?
Hi,
Yeah.
Chonkini, how are you today?
Because
Wow.
aside from when we're leaving, I guess the real question is, Morgan, are you happy with your new stature, or do we need to work on fixing that?
I mean, I haven't quite decided yet, but I don't think riding Chonkini is a viable source of travel. So I maybe more of a hindrance than a help.
I mean, hear me out. Maybe I'm just looking on the bright side, but you might be sneakier than ever, and I know you like to commandeer certain items from people, and this might make it easier for you. But of course, if you're not happy, I'm sure all of us would be willing to do whatever it takes to get you back to your previous height and stature.
if I could interject, while it could make it better for her to sneak around and get what she wants, she still gotta lift those things out of the clutches of folks.
Yes.
Um,
Also, to reach someone's pocket could be like scaling a building for her now.
Out of character, I just have
Mhm.
a question.
Yeah.
Would the mage hand be tiny?
No.
Boom.
You could make it a normal size mage hand. That's fine. The issue then becomes you still have the weight limit problem, right? And you still have the issue of coins are about half your height at this point. Well, no, I guess coins are what? Large gold coins, probably 2-ish inches. So, yeah, you could be about the height of a larger poker stack. But yeah, stealing while you are more sneaky, actually stealing items is probably going to be infinitely more difficult just because you're going to steal one gold coin at a time over your head like Feifel Goes West. You know.
I don't
Little bit of a rough-
necessarily need to carry them.
That's true. Get 5
to-
rubes.
to assist you in certain situations, I could always help bring you back to your height, but it's only temporary. But I could always help you in that regard.
Would also, sorry, I have a lot of questions.
That's all right.
Would disguise self also work?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think so because it's an illusion, and I don't think disguise self actually makes you bigger. Let's see. Disguise self. Let's read it together, chat. You make yourself, including your clothing, armor, and weapons or other belongings in your person, look different until the spell ends, or until you use an action to dismiss it. You can seem a foot shorter or taller and can appear thin, fat, or in between. You can't change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangements of limbs. Otherwise, the extent of the illusion is up to you. So you could use it to be 2 foot tall and look as weird or as normal as you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the issue you'd run into at that point.
Okay.
The option to be 0 feet tall is not there, though, correct?
I don't think you can... I don't know. I'm not getting into the Ant-Man theory of, like, she's going to go subatomic on us. This is still, like, D&D types. I'm not going to,
Okay.
like, worry about the science of it. Pixie shrink people. That's where I'm at.
JJ, if I am catching a drift of which spell you're talking about, that still won't quite bring her up to her original height.
She'll move from pixie height to like halfling height. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings her up to a little bit. You know,
Still something.
still
It's
some.
certainly an option, just not quite your original height. Given a bit more study, I could devote myself to figuring out the remove curse. Though I do have concerns about 1,000 pixies cursing versus one curse, so might be a bit more complex than your usual fare. But if you do decide you'd like to regain your height, I can certainly endeavor to help you remove that.
I think it would be easier to go back to normal. But I think we could maybe finish out what we're doing here and then figure it out when we have time.
Yes, I'm working on things. I'm always
No, you're good.
trying to get a new understanding of different magics. It's just a matter of figuring them out and gaining enough personal power to wield them. And soon, I think I'll be able to hopefully help you if it's not
Oh,
1,000 curses and not just one. Cast
Work.
1,000 times.
worst come to worst. Once we leave the village, you could always speak to our dear friend, Dr. Basler. I'm sure he'd be happy to work something out with you.
Also a good idea.
I wouldn't call it a good idea. It is an idea.
I think anything's a good idea after this.
Well, just if you do that, go into it considering your words wisely. In such a
Indeed.
deal.
Yeah, I don't trust JJ's hair very much, even if its name is Vasler.
I think he'll
Doctor.
be a little more akin
Dr.
to
Vasler.
what he's agreeing to
Indeed.
himself as well.
A couple options, I think. So like we haven't had a
Alright.
curse removed before.
Another brat sad thing, just to cheer up the group or cheer you up a little bit, you know, it would be really inexpensive to make you an entire suit of gold armor right now.
Why would you want gold?
I mean, it's just, I don't know, I just thought it was neat.
That's
That was a
one
fun
of
idea.
the weakest metals.
Yeah, I was about to say that ain't good. We could make it like metal armor.
Out of character.
Oh.
No, it's not.
The welder takes offense. Minecraft yells at him back.
It's a soft
In
metal,
every
but
video
not-
game ever.
not strength-wise, it is not weak. It is very malleable and very stretchy, like taffy.
Joel, go
Anyway.
argue with every video game ever.
I'm a welder.
I'm a
And
wel-
metallurgist.
I'm a welder. Welder by trade. Metallurgist by night. They call me Iron Man at work. Easy enough to do, though. Yes, you technically could probably melt down like a handful of gold coins and have very heavy gold armor that you could walk around in.
That would make me not sneaky, but
You probably wouldn't be able to lift it.
yeah. I'd also just clomp around and they would look
mean-
around for something.
Alternatively, the group could use you as the Trojan Morgan. They encase you in gold and be like, look at this harmless little statue. And then late into the evening, you spring into action like Toy Story and steal things from them. These are all bad ideas. I never give players good ideas. These are terrible ideas.
I don't know. It sounds like a real good idea. to me.
Trust me, it's not. It's not as good as you think on
Any
paper.
ideas
So it's
anymore.
not a great idea.
Your pillowcase and
Mhm.
broken arrow.
I
Theoretically,
mean-
also,
Mhm.
if I were to summon a bird familiar, would I be able to ride it?
Sure. Seems fun to me. Let's see why not. Let me see here. What's it? Find familiar, right?
Just don't fall off.
You're gonna forsake Chunkini for the sake of convenience?
I can bring Chunkini back. He has his uses.
Let's see here. You could summon an owl. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah,
Raven.
the ravens and all that, they're all tiny. You are technically size tiny, so they could carry you, but they would move at half speed. So
Good to know.
yeah, you could do the old. We get into the argument eventually of the coconut, like where it's gonna grab you, like it's gonna grab it by its talons or the husks, or But we're not getting into that. It's a very foolish place to get into. So yes, I'll just say half speed. That seems fun.
Cool.
So yeah, what's the play?
I suppose for now I'll hang out, see what happens.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like a jerk, so I'm just going to offer this. If you want to ride on my shoulder to make things easier, because I know that you're going to be walking a little bit slower, and Chunkini's not very fast. So if it makes you feel better, you could ride on my shoulder. I mean, I'm just offering it. I don't mean to be offensive in this. I don't mean to make you feel bad about this. Just offering it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't take it as rude. I just assumed I would ride in the cart that we had, and then somebody would take the horse.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Who wants to hop on hot dog?
Hot dog.
It's hot dog.
Hot dog, sesame, mayonnaise, and mustard.
Boom.
It's not a weekend. I'm afraid I can't go hopping on hot dogs.
Oh God. This is a reminder: this stream is not for children. Thank you, Orville. This is your friendly.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I know I already said the F word, but we're just reminding people, mature audiences. So, yeah.
Mature.
Mature. God. Yeah, this is why we shouldn't have streamed this game.
Well,
We're all getting comfortable now.
It's finally 23 episodes. That's where
Took us half a year.
Half a year. Let's go. Now we're comfortable. Watch out, world. Good lord.
Can you just imagine a red hobgoblin going into battle with a tiny little rogue on his shoulder with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, I don't have to imagine it. There's this really cool movie called Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And the character's called Master Blaster, and it's awesome.
Yes.
Or the if you want to go like children's movie, is it the librarian or the bookkeeper? I forget what it's called. The page master. He has like a little page companion that floats around him, and they go through different books together. I think one of them is a pirate with a sword. He's a little guy. That's awesome.
Willow.
It is.
Is his name Willow?
Well, the little brownies in Willow.
Oh yeah, the little brownies in Willow. Yeah, they're cute too. We got it. This is fantasy world. This is not that crazy. This is not outrageous. So yeah, the choices are plentiful. It is all in how you want to approach that.
I can probably ride hot dog as long as nothing gets too dicey.
Nice. So yeah, Vel could ride the horse.
Orville ruined it now.
I know he ruined a lot of things. Okay, we can't go back. We can't go back to before Orville ruined things. Moving on. Are you guys resting here, or
Orville ruins everything. He's the reason that fairy got killed. Everything's Orville's fault.
Orville goes, betcha nothing. You can't do it. And that's all the motivation I need to kill this guy. Say no more, Orville. All right,
Okay.
so it's just a giggle fest. This is Monday today. So what do you guys want to do? What's the plan? If you want to bed down in Tiber Village for the day, you can do that. You'd pretty much take like a half day to yourselves for anything you might want to be doing, or you can hit the road and get one step closer to your destination at Wren's Fork to the southwest.
I say we head out. personally. What do y'all think?
That's
I
fine
agree.
by me.
If we stay here, we're gonna wake up with
I
a
agree,
horse
yeah.
head in the bed.
We can leave. That's fine.
All right.
I just need a few minutes, and I'll resummon Aja.
Okay. You resummon your winged serpent, and it coils around your arm. For anyone else, if there's anything you guys want to do, you guys can technically take a short rest. I think we've already done that, but in case you need to roll hit dice or prepare any spells, now is the time to do that. Otherwise, we will move right along, and we'll fast forward a bit to getting the cart ready for leaving southward. Good? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Everyone good? Good. Cool. So, Colt, you take your position back in the riding seat of the wagon you've purchased. Your two Appaloosa horses, strode and very much tackled back up, ready for a journey ahead. They got half of the day off, so they are still well rested and very tame. They don't have any futs or butts. Velithil, you approach Hot Dog. The horse sniffs your hand and kind of like looks at you curiously with a bit of fear in its eyes. Go ahead and roll me a animal handling check.
I was gonna ask, could I like when I do that, can I offer it some food?
Yeah. What do you
Try and win it over?
out of a ration?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can definitely offer its food. So you can roll at advantage. They can be bought. It's still early on. You've only done one scary thing, so yeah, they can still be bought. They haven't become my cats yet, where they just hate people belligerently.
18.
18. Okay, easy enough to do. You have it kind of has a hesitation and a bit of a stare at the missing arm, but it seems to understand. A couple of soft, gentle nudges and some positive treat reinforcement allows you to mount Hot Dog and fuck you, Orville. God damn it. And sit astride the saddle of this horse that has a very unfortunate name. It's Women's Day. What the hell are we doing? So with that, and it's all giggles tonight. It's all giggles. I apologize to everybody. Yes, you guys all prepare for the road ahead. As you guys get set up, is there anything you want to do before leaving the village? Nope. All right. So you all make yourselves ready. Morgan, you climb into the back of the wagon. You and Chunkini sit down near the edge of the wagon itself. Chunkini kind of plots. It's less of a like graceful cat jump into the back of a wagon, and it's more this very large tubby child jump and sit fully on its butt, angle its head all the way up to the back of it, and then kind of like reach up and then slowly paw and hop to slowly do a little bit of a pull up and get about halfway through before tumbling and slamming into the back of the cart. Colt, for a moment, the wagon kind of uneasily shakes and tips, and you hear "Meow," and Chunkini is sprawled, all four legs spread out, and seems very comfortable with where they've landed. With
That's
that,
a big boy.
it's a big boy. So with that, you all make way and set off from Tiber Village. You all head southward, leading out from the village itself. There are whispers on the wind, now a joyous village being left. Many of the people thankful, and you can have this certainty and almost strange feeling that there is joy encapsulating the various areas that you are escaping from. You know that many of the residents of the area are quite pleased with the work that you've done for them, and it almost is a feeling that is in the air itself of the village. As you all make way for the southern roads, you note that much of the foliage has been recently kind of addressed. Large blossoming flowers erupt on either side of the pathway, welcoming your exit and egress from the village, as if, again, unseen forces are wishing you well on your journey ahead. You all make way southward, and over the next few moments, you begin to pass again from the small village in the Opalwood, back into the open plains of Irdrin. The day is beautiful. There is nary a cloud in sight. You can see bright sunshine begin to peter out over what small morning clouds still reign in. As it is still earlier in the afternoon, there is soft bits of drying dew that are on their final moments before welcoming a dry land in the plains. You can see that there is collected activity of both insects and otherwise that make your way throughout the plains. For who is leading us, let's go ahead here. We're going to have Colt roll a d12. We're going to have Morgan roll a d100.
A D100?
D100. That's 2d10 or a d10 and a d10.
4.
Okay.
92.
92. Okay. So for the people keeping an eye out, Morgan, as you're in the back of the cart, go ahead and roll perception at disadvantage. Velithil, JJ, Colt, go ahead and roll perception. Morgan, what do we get?
11.
Okay. Colt, what do we get?
8.
Okay. JJ, what do we get?
18.
Okay. Velithil, what do we get?
17.
Okay. JJ and Velithil, as Colt keeps his eyes upon the small, well-worn trade road leading southward through the middle of the plains, determined and a newfound respect for his own gusto, we'll say, having stabbed himself earlier in the morning, he keeps focused on the task at hand. The task at hand. Morgan sits in the back of the cart, or the wagon, every so often, trying to look up, but seeing the large kind of wooden plate that holds the rear end, the tail flap itself, kind of blocking and obstructing most of her view, every so often peeking up and over and sitting back down and relaxing. But for the two of you, you do note from up ahead, yes, across the horizon to your right, so further northwest from your current position, you can see just up ahead, maybe at this point about half a mile or so, at first you think it to be a large black cloud on the horizon, but as time marches forward, several minutes pass into a half hour or more, and you begin to get closer and closer, you note that there is a convergence. There is a large encirclement of what appears to be black feathered birds that are currently trailing large, heavy-set circles in the sky up ahead. From your current position, when you notice this, you are about half a mile away on the path. They seem to be not on the main road. However, you do note that it is rather peculiar to see such a large collection of avian creatures collecting and meeting in this manner, especially with, at this point, winter on the fast approach to the far north, and so they should be expected to head further southward for the winter.
Would Bucky have any insight into this with nature?
I was about to ask you.
So, yeah, Velithil goes, let me phone the guy who's trained in nature, and we'll see what's up. So, Vel, you easily enough, you walk forward, you reach with your arm to undo the flap, and then you kind of go, oh, and you realize you're not quite accustomed to not using your missing appendage. You go, you kind of take it and tie the reins around the front of the saddle, and you reach over and lift the flap open, and you look to Bucky and ask him about the birds.
I would just cast Mage Hand and use that.
Oh, well, shit, yeah. You know, if you want to cheat with magic, I guess. I mean, that's cool. I guess, you know, like, again, what is character growth, I guess? I don't feel like, yeah, Mage Hand it.
Who needs character growth when you have magic?
Why touch the poor people? I have Mage Hand. Fucking silly me. You're right. That's fucking, how, let me just eat a bit of humble pie here for being a dumb, okay, anyway. Rant over. So yes, a Mage Hand floats the side of the side of the covering, the tarp for the wagon up. You see Bucky sat kind of staring longingly at his wine flask. It's a very long and boring road, and no one would blame him for a sip or two. But Bucky turns and views you, Vel. What would you like to say?
Bucky, there's a rather large and unusual amassing of birds to the northwest of us. you have any insight to that behavior?
Sounds like they would be flying south for winter at this point. That is strange. Hmm. Could I roll a nature check to see what I actually know?
Sure, go right ahead.
That's a 12.
All right, a 12. You think of it, and you look, and you squint, and it's hard to tell at this distance. It's a big, again, a flock of birds from what you can tell in the distance. With a 12, you have a number of theories, but without being able to see what creatures these are, like whether they be vultures or ravens or what have you. You kind of think of it, you're in the plains, you know the type and the general genus of creatures that live across the plains. You've seen these kind of magical beasts, such as the blink dogs that had assaulted you earlier in the evening of the previous day. You think it over and you look at it, and with a 12, you come to the realization that most likely these are carnivorous birds, or at least some type of creatures that are currently, in your opinion, exposed or otherwise in the process of decomposition of something that is probably off to the side of the road.
Looks like something big died over there. We'll keep an eye out, I guess.
Yes. Likely no reason to worry about it then.
Just watch the little one.
All right, moving on.
I think so.
All right. So you all continued further down the road. Time passes, a few minutes at that, and more you continue to hear the squawking, the tearing, the of various birds, and more as you kind of keep an eye open, you can see that just a few hundred feet off from where these collected creatures are, you can sort of see this black inking mass, almost a herd of this giant murder of crows, a collection of various black feathered birds with a series of very large, heavy-breasted avian creatures that sit atop these pair of overturned wagons. As you look, you can see and count no less than several hundred at the minimum of these varying sizes of birds. It appears there is some type of larger creatures that have taken up positions where these overturned wagons to the side of the road are. And as you kind of look up ahead, you can see that there is a soft kind of almost chittering mass of various birds that have collected around and are all kind of uneasily moving up and down, some leaving and taking flight and then returning later, others landing and taking off. But together, just the density of these birds seems to belay an idea that many of them are waiting for their turn to perhaps feast on whatever it might be. Those of you trained in insight look over and can see the wagons have been torn apart. Various parts of the coverings, the leather or otherwise tarps that would cover these wagons have been picked apart, and there are large draping holes through it. And you can see, those of you who are trained in perception, as you look ahead, you can see that just a few hundred feet away from the scene, when you peer into the wagons themselves, many of the birds have beaks shown in bright crimson with various elements of decay and rot festering upon them. You can hear a kind of gushing sound, and you can look, and those of you trained in perception look ahead, and you can see that some of the larger avian creatures with their craned necks are currently working over what appears to be remains of some unfortunate creature. Yo, Colt.
I know this is a long shot, but do any of the formations of the birds remind me of the guy in the alleyway?
Gotcha. Are you trained in insight?
I believe I am. No, I'm not.
No. Give me an insight check then.
Uh, 19.
19. You think it over, and you kind of recall a bit of it. You try to think over. It was a bit of a panic. You were running to and fro, trying to avoid that individual. You do get a sense, though, that there is not so much a controller. The birds that you had fought in the city streets of Deerwood were definitely under command of some person. They were definitely fighters. They were people that they were creatures that were being otherworldly controlled or emboldened to take actions in very strategic ways. While not the same vein, you do get an uneasy feeling that there are too many of these creatures all in one location for it to be normal, and B, many of them are being far too patient. In what little experience you've had with birds, especially monstrous birds, there's not a lot of waiting for your turn to eat. It's eat or you're not getting fed. So the fact that there are, again, large swaths of murder, like a murder of crows, plastered about the open plains area, kind of belays the fact that there's probably some either leader or leaders of this flock, and it's rather strange to see mixed varieties of avian creatures collected in this manner. That's what you get. Similar in nature.
All right. Didn't y'all say you got attacked by some bird dude? Or
No.
some birds?
There were some birds in the road, and we took a detour because things were weird.
Mm-hmm.
They made me throw up.
Didn't see a bird dude, though.
Yeah, no, we just saw a lot of birds.
All right.
Wait, is that when y'all was seeing things and I just kind of led you out of there and y'all said it was birds and I didn't see no birds?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. DM, can I see any birds on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, if you not horizon, like if you pop up right now, you guys are still rolling along. Like at this point, I mean, couple move actions, and you guys are almost adjacent road-wise to them from off the path. From what you can see, it looks like most likely these wagons were pulled into a somewhat of a campsite before something befell them, and now the cleanup crew has arrived this afternoon. Albeit a much larger crew than should be expected.
So what do y'all think? I mean, I don't know if we should bother a whole shit ton of birds that are feeding on something. Then again, no, it just seems kind of weird.
We could head a bit off-road to our east, just to give a bit more space between us and them as we pass, if we don't want to look into this.
Yeah.
Because this very much could be something, whatever caused this, might visit us this evening.
Yeah, I hear that for sure.
Yeah, I could see that being a thing. I say we're either going up to them and seeing what's up with it, or giving them all the space in the world we can. And if we're going up to them, I don't think there's much to save. Normally, crows don't come out like this unless something's dead.
Well, they're likely swarmed around. There's a few wagons, so it's however many horses and potential riders.
They just seem a little too orderly, the way they're attacking things. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't know.
You think these birds were trained and sucked upon this?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right about that. Then again, I also have to enact my vengeance upon the birds that attacked me. The bird dude. If he's there, I'm gonna kill him.
Morgan,
But anyway. Oh,
roll
sorry.
a perception check.
Nat 20.
No, Morgan.
Oh, whoop. Never mind.
Can I just take his? A perception check?
Yep.
My bad.
At disadvantage or just regular?
Regular.
19.
Okay. As you are sitting in the back, you start hearing Colt and the rest discussing the potential of what's happening. The wagon begins to move closer and closer still to this event. Many of the birds, seeming flustered, those closest to the road, move up and flock away from the area of the road. You sit there, and as you're hearing your friends talk, your fellow compatriots of the Seekers of Galanti, you look around and you start hearing this kind of like almost cooing sound. That's like, and you see a small red beak poke itself through the kind of edge back end of the wagon where you're sitting, and you see its large head kind of poke out and these glassy eyes of what appears to be a red beaked macaw sitting there and kind of looking in your direction. You hear this and it seems to look in you like almost like tilt its head in the strange bird-like way to kind of get an eye and look over. As you note this creature, you also see a collection, about 3 or so, fully blacked ravens that sit now on the back end of the wagon, and they all kind of just like stare in. You start hearing their soft kind of like... That's what you see.
We're still approaching, so it's veer off or stop now.
Hey guys. I think we may have a slight problem for me in the back here.
What? Slight problem?
Oh, fucking dogs.
Oh, y'all talk.
You talk. And you see the macaw kind of like straighten up a little bit and kind of stamp with its body moving a little bit forward still. And you can see these big heavy talons. Morgan being the closest to it, you note that its talons are coated in viscera. And as it stomps along the back end, it kind of trails these little bloody claw prints along the clean wood of your wagon. What do you want to do?
I'm going to start backing up and...
You stand and rise, and you start backing up, and you hear, oh, you talk, oh. And as you back away, you Bucky, at this point, you see this macaw, JJ being in the back of, or no, you're riding along. Yeah, that's just it. It's just Morgan and Bucky back there, huh? Or Orville's back there.
I should be back there, yeah.
So Bucky and Orville, you see this macaw at this point. It reaches out its kind of very heavy wings and kind of peters them up before clamping and jumping down. As Morgan stands and backs away from it, it seems to kind of land inside the wagon and tucks its wings back underneath the fold. And you see that the 3 ravens kind of move to the back end and kind of cover a bit behind it. The macaw again continues to squawk and slowly, one step at a time, move closer to where Morgan is leaving. It gets up to where Chunkini is laid out, and Chunkini at this point is laying there going, wow, wow, wow. You're, yeah, kitty. Oh, you talk? Yes, Colt.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the cart.
You
Fast.
you pull the cart to a stop. You've passed a bit of where the main action is happening, but you're not too far off. You're hearing this kind of voice echoing out from there, and you start hearing this kind of like tunk 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 sound. Vel, JJ, what do you all want to be doing?
I stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stop.
Pull both horses in. Colt, you lean back over, look on the back end of it, and you can see this again, this strange looking red beaked, almost like scarlet macaw, but there's no trail to it. There's no like beautiful colors or anything of that sort. It is a macaw in shape, but in function and form and its feathering is just this strange looking mixture of dark blacks, like jet black and red crimson. Its chest is puffed out, and you can see this very heavy plumage of red that runs down the front of it. And it currently stands about a few inches away from Chunkini. Chunkini now has all of its hair up on end, tail straight up in the air, and continues to lazily, but still groaningly, like, wow. You hear,
Bucky's gonna get his shield ready and get between Morgan and the murder birds.
okay. You get your shield ready and you just lean over Morgan. Just drop the entirety of a wooden wall in front of her.
Yep.
Thanks, Buck.
You hear a tink 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 tink, and the macaw kind of looks strangely at Chunkini, and you hear, "What's your name?" You hear Chunkini. As this is happening, Vel and JJ, you look, and every so often you're hearing this kind of like thud thud sound, and you look and you're seeing, as you look up at the top of your wagon, more and more of these birds begin to start landing on the top of the wagon tarp. Those of you inside, you start hearing this kind of tearing sound, and you can see these tiny little claws every so often poking through as various birds begin to start to land on the top of the non-moving wagon and tear every so slightly into the top of the tarp as they walk along the edge of it. All said and done, there's about 10 or so at the very top of the wagon.
Have the bigger, like giants or bigger sized birds or avians, whatever they are, moved from where they were at on the wagons that they were munching from?
Give me a perception check. Disadvantage, because the birds are now like kind of moving around a bit, so it's harder to see through the collection of wings and feathers.
13.
13. You look and narrow your vision, and you're like, yeah, no, they're there. And you see a few of the larger ones are still there. But you're not sure how many were there, and not sure if all of them are there, but there seem to be some that are still feasting on whatever poor things were on the side of the road. The macaw inside of the wagon marches forward and kind of stands, and you see it lift its left talon up and slowly angle a talon at the very front of Chunkini's face. You hear, "Are you hungry?"
Morgan,
I'm gonna do something real stupid.
What do you want to do, Colt?
you can dismiss a familiar.
I'm gonna go ahead and look down at the bird, hold my arm out, go like that, and go.
Give me an animal handling check. And Morgan, what do you want to do?
While that's happening, can I just dismiss Chunkini?
Sure.
Ooh.
What'd you get, Colt?
16.
16. All right, so Colt, you bend your arm as you're getting ready to kind of tap your arm. Morgan, from behind Bucky's shield, hearing this, you go, "Oh," and you wave your hand, muttering the other half of the incantation of Find Familiar. You hear a thunk, and those of you that are able to see this, the talon of this bird slams down to the wood deck and sticks for a moment, landing right where Chunkini's head was, and kind of slowly, you hear, "Oh, wow, oh, that's a cute birdie, birdie, birdie." Colt, you slap the side of your arm, and the large wings move out, and it takes a little bit of a run, like 2 or 3 steps, and then kind of flutters up past Bucky and Orville. Bucky and Orville, is there anything you all want to do?
Just gonna turn my shield.
Okay, turn to face the macaw.
Yep.
Okay, you do so, seemingly defensive. Colt, this large macaw sits and lands on your arm. You feel its talons sink into the leather that covers the bits of your plate mail. You hear it tink 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 on the side of your armored arm, and it stares and kind of like tilts its head. You can see now its beak is not actually red. It's coated in probably weeks long of viscera and blood that has long since dried and otherwise stained its talonous mouth. It looks at you curiously and cocks one eye in your direction. What do you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna try to pet you, and it's gonna feel nice. Don't bite me.
He goes, all right, feel nice.
I'm gonna go and go behind its head and just kind of scratch behind its head if I can.
Sure. Give me an animal handling check.
Is 14.
14, okay. You reach for your one, you angle your one finger out and you reach kind of back behind it. It kind of looks curiously and very slowly. My question to you is, does a 22 hit?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a large kind of like snapping sound. And Colt, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
$20?
20, you succeed. As you reach your finger forward, you hear, no! And it reaches forward and snaps at your finger. You all hear this ting, this like twang of metal. Colt, and you retract your finger. You take 11 points of piercing damage. And as you pull your finger back, you can see this large crunching kind of pivot and blood trickling out of the front of your finger. You look, and as it moves its beak, this kind of hanging beak with its kind of this black undertuck, you look and you can see for just a moment a piece of the metal of your armor stuck at the tip of its beak. And it kind of goes, open the tuna! Feed the birdie!
I got some snacks, so I'm gonna reach down and pull my revolver out.
Can I didn't want to interrupt anything, but can I cast Dragon's Breath on Aja?
Yeah, easily enough. You kind of like whisper to Aja, like, we're gonna need to burn some birds real quick.
No, Cold. I don't want to burn the wagon.
Cold. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, Cold. As Cold, as you start reaching for this, you hear behind you, and you hear shiny. And Colt, you feel a knife against your neck. JJ, you look over, and in an instant that this is happening, you can see this large, tall, feathered humanoid standing with their knife against Colt and seemingly having evaded much of the early detection of what was going on. And that is where we're going to go to break. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. So thanks for staying with us.
Before we go to break, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to give a shout out to Cleric. He has gifted like 4 or 5 subs so far tonight.
Oh, Jesus, really? Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Cleric.
Thank you, Cleric.
Twilight Cleric, right? Thank you, sir. Or, yeah, sir. Yes, sir. I think. I'm trying to remember everyone's pronouns from the Discord, so I'm really bad about it. Yeah, thank you so much. I didn't know that. I don't ever keep chat open. So thank you. Thank you for telling me. Oh my God. What are you doing? Why are you...
My mom asked me what a gift sub was, so...
What's a gift sub? It means you get cool emotes and stuff, and you earn more points. Craziness. So yeah, thank you so much. Wow. Here. You guys are great. Anyway, yeah, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. It is 8:36 right now. We'll be back in 10 minutes, so we'll shoot for 8:46, and that'll work. All right, cool. So we'll see you all in a bit. Hope you guys stick with us for what is to come, or what is to end. I don't know. Get stuff. All right, see you in a bit. Bye-bye. And we're back. Look at that. Are we back? Are we on the internet? Hey, cool. Hey. Da, 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 da. Oh, Lord. All right. So, welcome back, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a good break. I know I did. So yeah. Weird stuff was happening. Again, now that I check chat, shout out to Twilight Cleric. Thank you so much. That's really, really cool of you. Appreciates you. I know a lot of people were like, I want subs and stuff. And I was like, cool. I don't know how that works. So I'm glad someone in the community does. Very, very generous of you. We thank you so much. Before we left for break, the group was riding southward along the plains of Irdrin, having traveled some many miles past the meeting at Tiber Village, and had come into view of a most curious sight. A collection of various black winged and feathered birds that surmised and made up the vast majority of a collective of creatures. Looking it over and trying to be as cautious as possible, the group came into view of a number of strange occurrences among the bird population. Even seeing a single macaw, a black and oddly colored, land in the cart and begin to attempt, in its very broken manner of speaking, to converse with those in attendance of the Seekers of Glunti. Deciding it'd be best to stop the cart, Colt pulled the reins, following alongside with Vel and JJ to hold here to see what was going on with this mysterious new passenger that had arrived. And as they began to effectively interact with this strange macaw, a glint of metal found its way to the edges of Colt's neck. And that's where we were at before break. Yay! Yay! Stabbing! Yay! So with that, yeah, that's kind of where I don't know, with that, yeah, that's where we're at. You all come to view all at once as this new voice takes over and kind of speaks out a bit, softly, but in a groaning manner. And you look and you can see now this raven feathered individual in a very heavy black cloak, a large beak protruding from the inside of their robes, and a feathered hand held up to the backside of Colt, pushing a piece of steel right to the neck of Colt as it groans out, and that is where we were at.
Is this the individual that tried to rob me the last time? I don't know if I can see him. You
attempt to turn your neck and you immediately feel a push of the knife at your throat, as you can feel this kind of like penetrative point, and you hear, "Now then, everyone be cool. I'm sure we can come to an understanding. I just don't want to get hurt. Think of the children."
I'm sure we could come to an understanding here.
Please spare him. We'll give you our gold, anything you'd like. Oh no, you bastard! As you hear these various voices emanate from the beak of this hooded individual, it attempts to communicate in its strange manner of doing so. Let me do this. Yeah. All right.
What do you want, bird?
And you see this kind of like slowly its head moves very close. You hear this kind of clicking sound. This. Whatever you want, just take it and be done.
Something tells me that's not the way this works.
You hear again this kind of cawing sound, and you hear, "Mommy!" Just, you hear, "You monster!"
Could I make any sort of roll to see if JJ knows of any ways to communicate with such creatures?
Sure. Are you trained in nature?
No.
No. You can still roll insight up that, yeah. Or you can roll nature untrained. Either way.
$20.
A 20, she says. You look it over and it's, while not in the same races, not in the same races as creatures you're used to dealing with, it's not terribly uncommon, especially as a bard, that you've ever heard or come across the race of avian creatures known as Kenku. This being one such creature. I can move them here and then boop. Yeah, there we go. This is what you see. So, you've heard with the 20, you definitely have heard of Kenku. They are large avian raced humanoids who are very much known, whether it be truthful or not, to attempt to fleece, steal, or otherwise pocket things that they find enjoyable. There have been a number of bard's tales and stories about storms of crows and thunderous crashings of wings that comprise much of the danger of overland travel to those who stumble upon or within the gaze of a Kenku. Specifically when it comes to discussion, you've heard a number of tales stating that Kenku actually don't know language for the most part. They don't try to learn it, and many Kenku don't actually have their own voices. Instead, they tend to regurgitate, a nice way to say it, the sounds and words that have been spoken to them recently in an attempt to form communication with creatures. But overall, while smart and wise of a race, they don't really concern themselves with like organized society for the most part. The few that do arrive in civilized, quote unquote, civilized areas do their best to fit in with modern society. But many of them have also forsaken more of the, not carnal, but like base instinct to thieve, steal, and survive.
Okey-doke.
Can I move out of view of the front of the cart and kind of get more along the side or towards the back so
Sure.
that I have a good angle on like the ones on top of it and whatnot?
Sure, I can move you there.
And once I'm out of view of the thing, I also want to cast Mage Armor.
Sure. You move and slowly move your horse away. Colt, you hear this kind of groaning sound, this stop. No running.
JJ is gonna take out, because all she got, a dragon chest set
Mm-hmm.
from her bag and just kind of hold it out towards the Kenku.
Mm.
Say, for you.
You? For you? Monster.
Bucky casts False Life.
But guess false life. Vel, as you move to the back of the cart and get an angle at the few collected birds there, you look, and at the very end of the cart, there is a collection, a mass of about 60 or so black raven feathered birds that are all sitting at the base of the cart, all kind of like clipping and cleaning their wings. As you come into view, just a bit past and out of sight of this individual, you can see the pair of wagons as they sit just out of distance. You can see even more so a number of birds slowly kind of moving their way up. Many not flying, but instead kind of giving a bit of a hop and a small stretch to move closer towards your non-moving wagon. You hear,
You all have a few moments to consider how you want to agree with our friend, or I'm going to start dealing with his.
How far did I get with pulling out my pistol?
you're like I would assume you have your hand on the trigger, but like you're about halfway out of the holster. And you hear again this kind of like cawing sound. It goes, certainly we can come to an agreement. You hear, have reason. Mom, I'm scared.
We can come to an agreement if you take that knife off my neck.
You feel it press further into your neck. It goes, what do you want? Everything? Fine.
I don't understand what you're saying.
He wants everything out of the cart. And on our persons.
And you see the macaw kind of tilt its head, and you hear, shiny.
Mm-hmm. They want the shinies.
Shinies. You hear, they want the shinies. You start hearing an echo, and you hear, shinies, shinies, shinies.
I can give you shinies if you would just please not push the knife any further and move it away. I'm willing to give you what you want. Just please get the knife a little bit off my throat.
You hear, in your own voice, look, I'm willing to put the knife further inside this neck. Please.
Goddamn birds.
Goddamn birds. Here. What is that? And you feel a feathery hand tapping on your gripping hand, Colt.
I can show you, but I have a knife on my throat.
Show? I'll give you everything. Show.
Then take the knife off my throat and I'll show you.
I'll put the knife in my throat and show you.
JJ starts handing out a copper piece to every bird around her.
Starts like it's bird seed.
No, she's handing it one by one to each one. She's just riding along.
You're just
Here's
like
the horse.
you're like sitting there. The wagon's not moving, and so you trot up and you see this like collection of large birds, kind of moving in from the wagon. You pull out your coin purse and you hold out a copper, and one of the ravens flies up and snatches it out of your hand and like yanks it away. You pull out another one, they yank it away, and they just start. They're just taking and running. Okay. But we'll say that by 60 seconds of doing this, just like slow, like methodical, like. At this point, Morgan, Bucky, and Orville, you see 5 of the large ravens sitting inside the cart, all just like directly staring in your direction. They're all kind of like cocking their heads and turning. The raven feathered individual with the knife, again, kind of like squawks in Colt's ear, goes, "Now. See reason. Everything. Give. If you only put the knife in my neck." And they press it into the side of your throat again. And then they look around at the rest of you. And you hear, "Give me it."
Oh, I'll give it to y'all, right? And Orville's gonna make a motion towards the large humanoid individual and attempt to take a swing on him.
All right, you move forward. It plunges its knife into Colt's neck, and you hear, "No further! Ah, think of the children!" Go ahead and everyone roll initiative. Colt, you're getting snuck attack.
Can I reaction that
Sure,
with cutting words?
sure.
Please.
If you want to. What'd you get, JJ?
2.
A 2. So 17 on die, minus 2, still cracks above a 20. So Colt, you getting snicker snucked.
All right.
You feel the knife sink into your neck. It comes through for 32 points of piercing.
I'm down. That's exactly my life points.
Colt goes limp, and then let's get to initiative.
Like exact on the nose. That's crazy.
How many turns of Dragon's Breath would Asha still have?
We'll say it's been roughly 18. Well, we'll say 18 seconds, just shy of 24 seconds. So we'll mark off what 3 rounds. It lasts for like a minute, right?
Yeah, it's a minute.
Yeah, JJ's been through. We'll say. Well, to be fair, JJ, you've lost 18 copper coins. Okay. Now let's bring this up on screen and see what it does. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do link game. Maybe. Bing bong. Bing bong bing. Maybe. Yeah, hey, it did it. Look at that. Yeah. There we go. Can I zoom in on? I can. I got to do like this. There we go. Yeah. Okay. The large blackbirds are just me saying there's a shit ton of birds in that area. They're not like one singular blackbird. The gentleman over here is our friend. Mr. Honeycutt is on the ground. And the I'd sell your soul for 1 corn chip is the macaw. For 1 corn chip. And then JJ and Vel, you are where you're at. I didn't add the 3 folks in the cart in case you guys are technically in the cart, so I didn't want to like load up all the tokens, but I can add them whenever you want. Okay. Okie dokie. So initiative. Boop. Whoop. Who got a 20 or higher?
Aja got a 20.
Heyo. Who got a 15 or higher? Okay. Colt and Bucky. Colt, what'd you get?
18.
Bucky, what'd you get?
15.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. 10 or higher.
That'd be a 14 for JJ.
Okay. Okay. You said 14 for JJ?
Yes.
Okay. Who has a 5 or higher?
5.
Okay. Morgan?
7.
7 as well.
Okay. I'm assuming Morgan goes before Orville because they both have +4, right?
Yep.
No. Okay.
Mhm.
So 7 and 7 is going to be... oh, Morgan before. And Bell out of 5. Who am I missing here? I have Colt, Bucky, JJ, Morgan, Orville, Vel, Aja, Chunkini. Oh no, you dismissed Chunkini. We're good.
He's out.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So at the top of the round, Orville, you take 2 big steps up, crank your fists back, getting ready with the intent to strike. You hear the bird kind of call out a little bit, the Kenku call out, before plunging a knife into the side of Colt's throat. You hear him go, and you see blood spray out from the side of his neck in a sleek pool of crimson trailing down the front of his armor. This knife kind of comes free, and you can see this kind of crooked-looking piece of glass that it's using as a dagger. And it kind of leans forward, and you see its feathers roost up a bit, and you hear... So it's a fight to the death then. And it holds the knife out. And you hear, think of the children! And then kicks the side of Colt. Aja, you have the initiative.
Aja will just rise up off my arm, turn towards these crows, and release some dragon's breath on them.
Go right ahead. I need a what, deck save?
Dex save.
I'm super good at these deck saves. All right, so that's a 17 on die, so I got an 18.
Alright, so they'll take half.
All right, go for it.
8 points of cold damage, so that would be 4 points of cold damage.
Let's see here. Okay. You said it's 8 points of cold damage?
Yeah, but then half because they succeeded, so a total of 4.
4. Okay, takes it. Anything else for Aja's turn?
It just stays on my arm, trying to be protected by me so that I have my cannon.
Okay, no problem. You angle your hand out, a ray of cold, like a cone of cold fires from Aja. You see several birds collapse and twist and shiver and shake, and many of them kind of perk their heads up out of the crowd, and you hear this like and they all kind of turn their attention towards you. Their wings go out. That is Aja's turn. Our hero's turn. Kenny is we're gonna call him Kenny the Kenku, because no one asked his name. Looks over at Colt, looks down, and reaches down and plucks Colt's shiny weapon and holds it in its hand and looks it over. Colt, is it loaded?
Yeah.
All right, it's gonna look at it and go, and tries to emulate how you were holding it, and just kind of looks it over and angles it at JJ, and you hear, "Please don't come any closer."
Okay.
And it's gonna slowly start walking away. It hops down off the cart and moves 10 feet back. That is its turn. Colt, death saving throw.
Oh. Give me a sec. Fall off the table.
4.
You hear as a bleeding out hobgoblin man is slowly dying in the driver's seat. Bucky, your go.
Bucky's gonna cast blur on himself and get out of the cart.
Okay. What adjacent square do you want to be to the cart? Oh God! It shrunk a dunk. Hold on. Boop. There we go.
I'm gonna get out and be like 2 squares to the left from Vel.
2 squares to the left from Vel. Give me 1 second here. Where are we at? There's Bucky. Whoop. 2 squares from the left of Vel. There.
And
Just
then
Okay.
bonus action Hexblade's Curse on Bird Boy.
On the one with the weapon?
Yep.
Okay. You cast a Hexblade's Curse on him. You can see this small kind of bit of thorny etherealness wrap around the side of its feathers, denoting that you have marked it as an enemy. JJ, your turn. You see this individual with this large weapon pointed at you.
JJ's gonna cast Healing Word at 2nd level on Colt.
Okay.
So let me do that real quick.
Like how peaceful rhythm is during this. It's good.
That's 8 healing for Colt.
Cool. You watch as the magic pulls the small hole in your neck, sealing it shut and flexating the muscles and scabbing it over quickly.
She's gonna keep her hands up, looking towards the bird.
All right.
And she will stay there for now.
Okay. Easy to do. Oh, it put game capture on my thing too. Un momento, por favor, please. Bleep. Hey, me. Hi, guys. I'm really close right now. How you doing? Boop, boop, boop. Now we're good. There we go. Fixed it. It's like, why do I have game capture on my screen too? It's like, oh, okay. That's simple to do. All right. So, boom, back at it. So you keep your hands up. Don't shoot. Do you want to consider that to be taking defensive or?
Yeah, she'll take the defensive.
All right.
Now. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So that'll be your go. And the bird squad. This bird squad that was shot at by our caster squawks and moves forward, and like a large collection of small objects pour over Vel and her horse. Let's see here. Yeah, that's all it can do. All right. It's going to swing-a-ling-a-ding-dong on Vel. Vel does a 14 hit.
No.
Okay. You feel them flocking over, pulling at pieces of your hair, trying to peck at various parts of it. Your small arcane barrier managing to glance off most of the what would be potentially dangerous bites as they continue to assault you. These birds over here are going to slowly move up and move over and interpose themselves between the guy and y'all. And this group starts hopping along as well. Many of them seem kind of confused. None of them have been openly aggressive at this point, except for the ones that are now assaulting Vel. You try to bite the shit out of her. In the distance, JJ, to the north of you, you hear this large howling sound, and you can see these large creatures pick apart and seem to rend a chunk of bone and flesh and crunch it between these large, heavy-set beaks. And you can see them kind of turn and start looking in your direction. You hear from the Kenku, you hear, "No, children, it'll be fine." But nevertheless, you see them angle their vision in your direction. Morgan, your turn.
What a terrible situation.
We like to call it a target-rich environment.
Can I scale down the side of the wagon and kind of get underneath it?
Yeah, but I don't have time to play the Attack on Titan theme, so you just have to mentally.
It's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I'll accept it this once.
You move down the side and slide down the several feet of this. We get a very close-in shot of you hopping through and coasting down the side of the mountain that is the wagon. You land by the spoke and whoop, whoop, join the map. Let's see here. I gotta update your new art. Boop. Oh no, that's not right. Hold on. There we go. Fixed it. Got it. So you land on the outside of the cart. What do you want to do?
I just want to be underneath it. Like, kind of behind maybe one of the wheels in the corner there. Just like... Yeah.
No one will ever know.
That's fine. Just
Who's
put... Yeah.
Who's going to know? No one's going to know.
Why don't I get yeeted into the sky?
Did it eat you in the sky? Oh, you're good.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I don't want a bird to take me away.
Oh, yeah. You just swoop down. I got pickup.
Trying to protect myself here.
Fair enough. All right, so you hide behind that. You can roll stealth if you'd like, if you want to use the bonus action to hide as a rogue. And then you still have your action.
Yeah, I want to hide, just to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Ooh, that's a 24.
24, okay. You lean into the spoke, and like one of those like how to fit through a wall puzzles, you just kind of like press to the side of the spokes and blend in. Anything for your action?
I'm just gonna hold my bow and arrows out and just kind of hang out for a second.
You pull out the toothpick arrow and the tiny bow. You're like, I'm going to play Cupid today if I have to. That is your turn. Orville, you are in the cart. As you run forward, you get to where Colt was standing, completing your move action, standing pretty much over top Colt's body, and you note that everything has gone in motion immediately, like a strange mousetrap.
What is this bird that's next to the cart? Not the flock, but just the single square?
Oh, the I would sell your soul for one corn chip, this guy?
Yeah, that.
That is the macaw.
Oh, okay.
Colt, get the door. I hurt you. Continue.
I was going to attempt to use my action to help right goal. And then bonus action, just take the defense with yield monk ability.
Okay, sure, yeah. You want to go defensive? So yeah, we'll say you take your action to stand Colt up, so he will be considered to be standing on his turn rather than prone. And yeah, you go defensive and you start kind of moving forward. Vel, your actual turn. There are birds now pecking at you. Ineffectually, but they are pecking.
So I guess here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Are these a swarm or...
They are considered a swarm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. They have tremendous AC. Some of the best AC in the game. A 10 to hit?
Yeah, I rolled really bad.
Misses. I got 12 AC, baby.
It's literally like, hey, I'm a +6 and
So
I rolled
you-
a 4.
You crackle necrotic energy in your hand, look around for a bird to strike. You go to pluck at it, and just a swarm of feathers moves into open air, and you hold the spell in your hand, unable to find something to strike with it. Miss. That's your action. Is there anything else you want to do for your turn?
Can I move back 1 space?
Sure. You hop back. Boop, boop. There we go. Boop. Like there.
Yeah.
Okay, you move back. Easy to do. There we go. And then Aja's turn at the start of round 2.
Dexterity save.
Well, shit. I don't wanna. That is gonna be for, where am I here? I have a +2. So I have a 9.
Okay, that's a fail, so you will take 7 points.
7 points. You hear the birds squawking. You hear as they're like, and several of them are falling over at this point. Little over a third of them laid twitching and frozen on the ground. As they squawk out, you hear the Kenku from up ahead. You hear, "Stop! Think of the children!"
I don't like children.
Is it everything you want, then? We'll give you whatever you need. Just don't take the thing out of my neck.
Well, I'll get to you.
That is Aja's turn. Main guy's turn. Takes this shiny object, tucks it into their robes, holds up a large knife, or a shard of glass for the most part, and is going to move. 5, 10, 15, 20. We'll do, 25, 30 to that side. And we'll swing at Vel. Actually, we'll swing at Vel to try and stop the murderer. Boom. Vel, a 22 to hit.
Fuck you.
I mean, I figured I would ask.
Yeah, that hits.
That hits, okay. So it has an ally within 5 feet.
Yep.
But it rolled like shit. Jesus. So this would be right here. 6, 7. So there's going to be 30 points of piercing damage.
I like how you went from 7 to 30, and you called it a shitty roll.
Well, I rolled a 1 on the D4, was the first one.
Yeah, it's cute. I'm down.
You down? Okay.
I'm a wizard, man!
I know, I downed the fighter too. It happens. You all watch Velithil unleashing this frost breath, striking out with this arcane energy against this just ravenous swarm of ravens. The Kenku walks forward, moves to be beak and beady eyes in line with Bucky, and tilts its head, holding a shard of glass, and then sidesteps Bucky and moves away, having no reason to really stab him. Walks up to the frosty tipped fingers of Velithil, and you just see a shard of glass loose from its hand and stick right underneath the armpit of Velithil, and you see it kind of clicks in, and a spray of blood hits as it seems to have struck an artery. Velithil hangs limply in her saddle and hunches over the horse. Hunches over hot dogs. Let's see here. That is 10, 15, 20, 30. Bonus action. I've not used. Yeah, that's fine. It will actually no. It'll turn and look at Bucky, and you hear, "Just calm down, everyone. Shinies, leave them. Look, Ma, birds." And then it's going to attempt to leave your melee range. Do you have a weapon out? No? Okay. So it'll bonus action to move. Get over to there. That is its turn. Colt, you are conscious with 8 hit points. What do you want to do?
All right.
Bonus action, second wind.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Five hit points.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna swing on the macaw right in front of me.
All right.
Well, I'll pull out my long sword, two-hand.
You angle it overhead, so like full bonsai. Ah! Go ahead and roll to hit.
Oh, damn it. D&D Beyond lags out on me again.
Hey, you know, it does that.
That's a 25 to hit.
25 to hit. You see this bird look you dead in the eye. It's one side eye. As the sword is coming down, you hear so fat elf. You've heard this spell be muttered from Velithil multiple times. You see a small interposing shield rise up through it, and then your sword crushes through this tiny shield and slices into this bird. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. $14 points.
14 points. The macaw is cut in a way in which its left wing falls off the side of its body. You carve it like a Thanksgiving turkey, your longsword tearing through the front of this creature. It kind of twitches and kind of looks around and goes, I don't want to go. And slumps over to the side and starts dying immediately.
I can't. I'll take a free strike if I try to move into range. Can I move? I can't move through the cart. I'd have to move on top of it, right? No, even then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point. I will get on the other side of JJ, so to flank that bird that's in front of me.
This one?
Yeah.
Gotta hide Morgan again. Okay. So you're gonna get to on the edge there.
Yeah.
Okay. You're flanking. You hop down off the cart, spit in your eye, gravel in your gut, hole in your neck, cut in your lip, but that wasn't from the birds.
Fuck it. Let's do let's do action surge.
Okay,
And
you
I'll
dig
swing
deep.
on it.
Ooh. Go ahead and swing. Roll to hit.
21.
21 definitely hits. If I was dyslexic, it would still hit.
9 points of damage.
9 points. You slice into... it's less like into a single entity, and you just cleave through like you're golfing. A big, wide swath of a swing, tearing through various feathers and wings and ripping them apart. Is that going to be your go?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Actually, let's do it. Let's be fun. Diminished. There we go. We can make the swarm smaller. Bucky, your go.
Could I use a potion of healing on Velithil?
Yeah, it is an action to do so.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
You punk. You walk up to her. You see her slumped over to the side, mouth hanging open. You're like, well, that's easy. And you kind of just tilt her head back and look. And you do the dog thing. You got to rub the bottom of their throat so they don't choke on it. Go ahead and roll it.
It's gonna be for 7.
Okay. Vel, you are healed at 7. Your wound underneath your armpit starts flexing, the muscles and tissues pushing together, and you see the shard of glass fall free of your horrible injury.
And then I'm gonna move as far as I can diagonally, so 35.
Away or towards?
Away up to the left corner of the map. Yep.
So that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Boop, 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 boop. Retreat. JJ, your turn.
She is going to summon the saber.
Okay. You pull forth the saber. The saber, you focus in and offer it a bit of your life force. The water and sweat of the day peels from your clothing. You can feel moisture leave the brim of your mouth, and slowly this watery blade forms into ice. And here, ooh, now isn't that pretty? I'll take everything.
She nods and then grumbles, and she's got 6 rounds of saber, and she will smack at the birds between her and Colt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. You have advantage for flanking.
19 plus.
Yep, seems like a thing you do.
That's 7 regular damage or
Okay.
slashing.
Oh, just
And
give me it
then,
all at once.
1 cold.
Okay, so 8 total.
Yes, please.
All right, takes it. You slice through a number of birds, the size of them now less than half of what they once were. Is that going to be your go, JJ?
Yep, she's gonna take. Yeah, that's what she's gonna.
Okay. You hear large beaded wings. And you can see this heavy set, slicked in blood bird land just out of view. This feller up here. Seemed to be the one from there. It perches right and sits up, standing on its 2 legs, and with its head, its kind of like twisted neck, almost vulture-like features being prominently displayed. It seems to be about as tall as Colt is. And kind of as it perches up and it looks in your direction, and you see this heavy, dripping, almost fang-like beak curiously surveying the battlefield. Morgan. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The bird swarms get to go. Sorry. They actually get turns. Let's not skip them. Swinging on... Where am I here? Swinging on Vel's horse. Does a 23 hit your horse, Vel? I know it does. I just like to ask.
Pretty sure horse has 10 AC,
Yeah, that's
but I don't have the stats in front of me.
That's fine. If you'd like, you can mark down that your horse has taken 7 damage. I don't think that's enough to kill a riding horse. Let me see here.
I think they have at least 10 hit points.
Yeah, let's see here. Riding horse. Riding horse has 13 hit points. So a big slice. They start to tear and rend into the side of Hot Dog, and they are like, man, hot dogs are delicious. They have discovered the one truth in the world, that you don't want to know what's in one, but they're delicious. This swarm here will move up a square, and then again, and take advantage strike. Actually, it's right here. We'll take advantage strikes on JJ. So big swings. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. I'll take a 19 on die for a 23 to hit JJ.
Yes.
Okay. It swings through for boxcars, 12 points of piercing damage.
Thank you.
The one on the other side will swing on you as well with advantage. 17 on die brings us to a 21 to hit.
Yes.
It is below half hit points, so it only gets 1d6 for 1 point more of piercing.
Thank you.
That's all 3 of the swarms. That's the big bird. Morrigan, your turn.
Can I just... choices. Sorry. Guess I'll just aim towards with my short bow towards the flock by Vel.
Okay.
So I feel like I can see them.
You definitely can. You can see birds everywhere.
It's a 21 to hit.
21 to hit. You fire through. The small arrow soars through between the spokes of the wagon wheel and sails through. You watch the arrow trail through, strike across, and impale itself within a bird before tearing through the back of that bird's wing and striking another bird in the face. Go ahead and roll damage plus sneak attack.
Mhm. That's 7 damage.
7 damage with sneak attack?
Yeah, that's minus the 2d4, right?
Yeah. So
Yep.
it'll be your base minus 2d4 and then with your sneak attack dice.
Yeah, so it's total 7 because I rolled 6 damage plus 7 sneak attack and then rolled a 6 on the 2d4.
Okay. And then you have your dexterity modifier you could add, which is +4 now.
Yeah, that's already added.
Oh, okay.
I'm using D&D Beyond. It adds it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it'll be 7 total.
All right, 7 total. No worries there. You strike dead a pair of birds that come into the flock. Many of them immediately raise their heads, and you can see the flock looking around, very confused and a bit of panic washing over them as they don't know where the attack is coming from. It's the end of your turn. Unless do you want to rehide, I guess?
Yeah, I'll rehide.
Okay. I'm just going to say until they're looking for you, you can just maintain stealth. You fire, you break stealth, they look in a direction, but then you re-engage and hide, and it's like, where the hell did they come from? So, not too worried about the birds figuring you out yet. We're in a target-rich environment. Orville, your go.
I'm going to hop out the front of the cart and waylay upon the birds twixt Colt and JJ here.
Okay. So hopping out the front, going to waylay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you have advantage.
Alrighty. First swing.
Yep.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah. That yep, that hits.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, that's cool. Yep. Bullshit.
I guess the Crusher special also triggers, so all future attacks have advantage against them. But right now we're starting at 10 points of damage.
Okay. You guys watch. Do you want that to be a punch or a kick?
Can I just trample over them?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Orville jumps out of the cart, spits on the ground, rolls up the cuffs of both sides of his pants, so he doesn't get too much bird death on it. Also waving the bisexual flag by cuffing your pants. Respect. Orville walks forward, pulls open the loop of his belt, tightens his pants and trousers, cracks his knuckles, and then walks forward, and you just hear in the distance a bard, a very weird bard of Al Yankovic, go weasel stomping day, and just as Orville walks through this horrible little swarm and tears through many of the birds. They disperse immediately like the angriest little kid at the beach, and they fly away like a flock of seagulls as he crushes several of them underfoot, just walking through, just a couple of high knees and snapping their necks as he walks through the crowd. This swarm has dispersed.
All right. I'm gonna move around to the swarm that's at Vel, I guess.
Okay.
With the rest of my 40 feet of movement.
Yeah. Boop. There you go.
And let's keep on stomping.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go flurry of blows here.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
That is 17 plus.
Yep.
For 8 points
Okay.
on those.
You reach forward, you think about this, and you go for a punch, but then you open palm, you grab one of the birds by the front of its beak, and you heft it overhead, and you bludgeon a bird with a bird, and you start just clearing them out, beating the shit out of other birds, using this now blown apart bird carcass to belay them, watching this horrific scene as they realize they are now a danger to themselves and others. They disperse and leave the scene.
I'll beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
A motherfucker with another motherfucker.
I'll use the second charge of my flurry of blows to drop some healing into Vel.
Okay.
As well.
So you will take a free strike if you move to Vel right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we'll take the free strike. +4 to hit. 19 to hit.
Connects.
Comes across for 8 points of piercing as several of the birds peck at you.
We got 4 points going over to Vel.
Okay. 4 points into Vel. You hit right up underneath the underside of the chin, triggering a key, like a point, a pressure point, and healing disperses across Vel. Is that your turn,
Thank
Orville?
you.
That'll do. Yeah.
All right. Vel, it is your turn. You have dropped concentration from going unconscious, so Aja no longer has dragon breath. It is the start of your turn, and you don't really, I'm not going to say you use half your movement. You're sitting in a saddle, and I didn't have you fall off, so you can kind of just straighten your back up. So if you want to use your movement, you can, but really you're using a horse anyway, so whatever.
I would ready myself because I'm gonna move a little bit because I'm not sure I have a clear line of sight on Kenny, so I would move to get a clear line of sight on Kenny.
Kenny, the Kenku. There you go. Clear line of sight.
And then I would ask him to stand the fuck still and give me a wisdom save.
A wisdom save, his best stat. Kenny rolls a 3 for a -2.
Hold person is active.
Okay. Kenny sits there and goes,
And then I'll back away a little bit so that swarm of crows doesn't get on top of my ass.
all right. Rised up. That is your turn. Top of the round is Aja's turn. I'm sorry.
Aja will fly over, give advantage to the next attack on the swarm, and then return to me.
Gotcha. Okay, so next attack on the swarm has advantage. Big boy's turn. He's held, so he can't move. He's paralyzed, right? For a round. He's stunned or something. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, he's paralyzed, but he
Yeah.
gets to save at the end of his turn.
Oh, okay. No worries then. Oh, I fucked up. An 8 wouldn't have saved, right?
No,
Okay, it's not a -5. It's a +5. I'm really stupid. Anyway,
it's not high enough to beat my
not high enough
DC.
either way. I was like, damn, he has really shitty wisdom. Like it's a 5. I'm like, oh wait, +5. Anyway, I'm just dumb. Don't mind me. So yeah, he spends his whole turn standing there, right, from hold person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does he get a save at the end of his turn?
Yes.
Okay. Rolling it. Nah. Yeah, that's a 20 on die, so he will shrug it off at the end. But a turn not stabbing somebody is a big business in this one. That is his to go. Colt, your go.
Can I move through the cart, or is that I asked last time? I don't remember. If
You can
answered,
move
I
adjacent to the
apologize.
cart, but moving
Okay.
through it is effectively getting in and entering and exiting a vehicle specifically.
So I believe I can get between both of them, right below them. Like there's that space that's like kind of between but below both of them within
That one?
30. Yeah.
Bucky's up here, but okay, yeah, you get there. Boom, boom.
Bonus action. Well, I do have advantage on that swarm.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to do anything with my bonus action anyway. I will. I'm still gonna. Yeah, I'll fighting spirit to gain
Okay.
advantage and 5 hit points.
Okay, easy to do.
10 hit points. And I will swing on Bird Guy.
Birdman. Go ahead and roll the hit. He is no longer held, but he is hittable.
Nat 20.
Go fuck yourself, go. Yeah, hits. Cool.
I never get these shits. Leave me
I know.
alone.
No, I
I
know.
never get them.
I love the idea of like first big swing on him, crush him.
So double the dice. I don't get these.
Yeah. So yeah, you take all dice you would roll, double them, and then add your modifier.
Okay, so 20 points of damage.
Holy shit. All right, he takes it. You hack a big heavy cut over the front of his armor and flesh. You see a spray of crimson erupt out from this heavy cut. You hear, are we going to die?
Before I end my turn, I'm gonna say, "Give me my shiny."
Give me an intimidation check.
16.
16. Okay. It looks at you and goes, "Would you like to trade?" And it holds the front of its chest, bleeding.
For what?
It like looks around. Tiny.
Give it a gold.
I'll let you live if you give me back the shiny.
It it opens its mouth, and all you hear is the sound of a man screaming. Bucky, what do you want to do for your turn?
Eldritch Blast on Kenny.
God damn it. Okay, go for it. He is behind a swarm, though, so he has cover.
Alright. $24 to hit.
I think that might hit even full cover. Let's see here. Yeah, even full cover. 24 definitely hits.
For 8 damage total.
8 damage. It strikes through. You hear another roar out. Oh! You hear, "Please, the children!" Is that your turn, Bucky?
Yep. I'm gonna actually move a little bit closer to the horses.
Okay. So,
like on the left side of the horses.
like here?
Yep.
Okay, seems good. Is that your go?
Yep.
Okay. That's Bucky. JJ.
JJ's gonna move right 3 spaces,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
and she's going to fling
Oh,
her
God.
saber.
Okay. You move your saber up and heft it, and you push into the hilt. You hear a clicking sound, and the blade dislodges, and it fires forward. Go ahead and roll to hit.
It's just like a regular attack, right?
Yeah, it's like making a normal attack with it. It just has range.
That's 9.
9 to hit. You fire this blade of ice forward, and immediately the Kenku turns in your direction, ducks out of the way. You see it sail past and crash into the plains and erupt into shards of ice. And here.
Yep.
Is that your go?
Yeah. She is going to heal Colt.
Okay.
With
Healing word?
yeah, healing word, please.
All right. Go for it.
That's another 8.
Okay. Seems good. So Colt, 8 more health. JJ, you were the last person to take a hostile action. The swarm is going to strike at you. 18 on die is a 24 to hit.
Yep.
For 7 points of piercing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Big Bird is going to swoop in, 50-foot fly speed. Will fly up to here. You see its large kind of predatory gaze fall upon you, JJ. And it gives you this kind of like curious stare before flying in and striking out with this heavy, almost scythe-like beak.
Can we move so we can see
Yeah,
where
we're
this
the
is?
last
Oh.
screen.
Whee! Sorry, Buck. I was trying to make room for Bucky. This guy. This little green burb. It will swing at you, JJ.
Yep.
Probably not, though. 14 to hit.
No.
Okay. You see this big, heavy swing overhead, and it lands down. You manage to duck at the last second, and it kind of just looks at you. And it starts bringing up these big wings, and you can see that its wingspan, again, is about twice the size of its body. So it has massive wings, and they kind of hover over and kind of move ever so slightly at you, seeming to use its wings almost like a shield against any attacks that would follow. That is their go. Morgan, your go.
All right. I'm just gonna aim at the swarm again.
Okay, go for it. Roll to heat.
The 22.
Yes. 1 over my dyslexic AC.
That is a 13.
13. Good lord. Okay. A small arrow goes through. You watch as it hits, splinters, and breaks and bounces around like a pinball as shards of the arrow hit and stab into the very sides of the birds. They go, and you start seeing blood trail out from several of them. It is been reduced to half. Is that your go, Morgan?
Yep.
Okay. Orville, your move.
Oh, there's more birds to be stomped. Let's go.
Oh, God. Moving up to the swarm.
Oh, you know it.
All right. Go for it.
Is there a way to achieve flanking on this?
Sure.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
First swing.
Mm-hmm.
12 plus.
Yes.
It's going to be yeah.
I have 12 AC.
7 points of bonk.
7 points of El Bonco. They take the El Bonco as you walk through, punching and kicking and kneeing several birds, the crunch of their little hollow bones snapping underneath the weight of your fists.
We're going to go for a flurry of blows and keep the crunching going.
You hear, wah! Go for it, roll to hit.
Next one is going to be 15 to hit.
It's 12 AC.
Yeet. Another 7 points of bonk.
7 points bonk. You walk through. You guys, for a moment, are a little concerned about Orville's mental health as he starts full front punt kicking birds and then dropping elbows on them like it's a wrestling match. He puts one bird in a noogie and starts wiggling around its beak before snapping its neck in his bare hands. He looks through, takes the snapped neck bird and spikes it into another bird that just explodes into a puff of feathers and smoke. The birds quickly run away. The few that remain from Orville's carnage.
Can I save one bird out of the flock to then smash into Kenny for my third attack?
Yeah, I'll give you the rubber chicken treatment. Yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Cool. All right, so you take a step forward. You walk up this bird. Let me see. You were here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You have 35 movement, right?
I have 40.
Oh, so yeah, you can flank with him if you want.
Oh, hell yeah. This bird's going straight up his ass.
You arm yourself with bird chucku. They're like nunchucks, but for birds.
Here we go.
And you have advantage.
Oh, yikes. That's only a 14 to hit.
14 to hit you. Like swing the bird in the Kenku's direction. It turns and snaps its jaws shut. And you hear a crunching sound, and it eats the bird you were using as a weapon.
Damn.
Here. Food.
And that's my turn.
All right. Vel, your turn.
I really wanted that flanking, but I'm still going to go up to Kenny.
You'd be like, hey, Kenny.
I'm going to try and give him the bad touch upcast.
Magic fingers.
18.
18. You reach down off the side of your horse and reach for him, and you manage to just barely get your fingers to touch the front of his chest. Roll damage. Almost out of reach, but not just quite.
Oh, baby. 40-10.
Oh, God. Poor Kenku.
Oh, shit! Okay. 10, 19, 21 necrotic damage.
21. Okay. The small touch is enough to deliver this explosion. You guys see this kind of almost detonating explosion. But again, nothing actually is shown because we're doing imaginary explosions tonight, thanks to Kenny Omega. So it's just like this pulse of black energy, like an explosion, imagine it in your minds, that trails over the front of the leather that is being worn by this Kenku. You see it fade and crunch up, and pieces of the leather armor flake off as it begins to erode from this necrotic energy, this ball that is delivered into the front of its chest. You hear crunching sounds and a sickness, and Kenny's beak slides open, and you can see this kind of black sludge trail out from the side and corner of its beak, and he goes, please, you bastard, what else do you want?
I want you to be dead.
Okay, have a great day. Is that your turn, Vel?
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Okay. Aja's turn. Gives advantage on the Kenku.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenku's turn is not held. Bonus action will disengage. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there. Will look around and reach into their pack and chuck the big shiny thing onto the ground. You go and you hear this groaning sound, this man's voice again go, "There, take it and leave, you piece of shit." And you hear it. Please. That is their turn. Colt, your go.
How far away is the gun?
It is 5 feet in front of him. So it's this square here.
I think I can make it there. Fine.
You probably can. 5, 10. Oh, well, not without getting free struck. That's probably the problem. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, you can get there exactly at 30 without getting free struck.
All right. I'll go there.
Okay. You see your gun in the dirt.
Pick up the gun.
You pick it up.
Holster it.
Slides in.
See you later. Nice doing business with you.
Nice doing business with you. Ah!
Don't come back.
Don't come.
I'll show you what the shiny does next time.
I'll show you, some bitch.
You make me hit you.
Hit you.
You're lucky I like birds. If you're a
Colt,
snake, I'd
finish
kill you.
it.
It's a
Shoot
bird,
him.
though. I still kind of like them.
Colt, you don't finish
It's a
it, I
man.
will.
Fine. I'm gonna swing on him.
You put it away. I'll give you like that, and you see. Roll at disadvantage because they took the defensive.
Oh, he has a straight
Alright.
roll then, because still had advantage from Asha.
Oh, true. Yeah, straight roll.
Oh, let me. It's still not the same. 16.
16. You strike forward. The tip of your sword crests against the front of its armor. Normally, you assume your weapon to be ineffective, but the tip of your sword cuts along the path that Velithil's spell had already deteriorated the front of their leather. It just barely hits. You feel it's cut free of this flesh. Roll damage.
I don't want to kill it. I like birds. Of course, it's gonna be super high damage. 13.
13 takes it. You see the big cut? You son of a bitch. You don't want to have me kill you.
You could try.
Give me it and I promise your life.
What? Didn't we just go over this? I'm gonna bonus action fighting spirit again just to gain more temp hit points because he hits hard.
Sure, no problem. Bucky, your go.
I'm gonna move up 4 squares.
Okay. Oop, no. That way? Diagonal?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
An Eldritch Blast
Sure.
on
the
Kenny.
Okay, go for it.
Oof. It's 10. It's probably not gonna hit.
Fires off, misses. Is that
That's
your go,
my
Buck?
turn.
Okay.
Yep.
JJ, your turn. You have a large green feathered bird covered in blood and sick in front of you.
She's gonna bonk herself
Bonk.
with the wand of cure wounds.
All right, so you spend your action to cast Cure Wounds on yourself.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll it and mark it off. Anything else for your turn?
She will use an inspiration.
Ooh.
on
Bardic or true?
Bardic.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
She will use it on Colt, I suppose.
Call out to Colt. What do you say to him?
Finish that goddamn bastard, Colt. He's gotta go.
He's got to go, Colt. Finish that goddamn bastard. You can give me your life.
And she will stay there because she doesn't want free strikes on her.
Sure. There are no more little furry boys, but there are big birds. And now there is somebody in my area. Walks forward. Big swing on El Buccarino.
Disadvantage.
Oh, for Blur?
Yep.
I get a 10 or a 15, so I'll take the 10 for a 16 to hit.
Negative.
Okay. This one here will try to kill Orville. Big swing with its beak. 8 on dice is a 14 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. Miss. Those are the big bird's turns. Morgan, from underneath the wagon.
Can I aim at the one by JJ?
Yeah. The big green bird?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I mean...
Ain't
we
gonna
can do
hit,
that
though.
if the trick's really good. What's the
So
total?
10 to hit.
10 to hit. You fire off. You see your arrow. And then crash into the dust. And you're like, man, that's really far away. I'd have to, like, angle it like this. Like, you're like, I can't shoot straight. I have to do this. And you're like, I forgot. Distances are weird now.
No depth perception.
You're like, Orville, your go.
Let's add another bird to the tally, shall we?
Another bird for the stack.
Tally ho. I'm going to swing out upright diagonal to get flanking.
Yeah, fine. Be that way.
And I'm going to monkey on the back.
Okay.
First one.
Yep.
16 to hit.
16 hits.
Hey, look at that. 6 points of bonk.
6 points of bonk. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
That is a 21.
21. You slam your fist in the side of it and you feel something twist and move, and it lifts up the back of its wing and you see a collection of bones. It kind of flexes a little bit and shards of bones are flung in your direction. You move out of the way at the last second and you see them soar behind you, and you see this large kind of carnivorous vulture turn in your direction and slowly just kind of give you this like predatory
Now
kind of
I get
growl.
why you like birds.
Like,
All right.
cool bird.
Yep, that's a porcupine bird. Got it.
Porcupine bird.
We're gonna crank out another flurry of blows.
Okay. Mark it off. Roll a hit.
Marking it off, and let's go.
Mhm.
First of 2.
Mhm.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah. Is it? That's cool.
Yep.
Bye, bird.
10 points of bonk.
Takes it.
Automatic advantage.
Yeah.
15 plus is going to be 20, 21, 22.
Bird Slayer.
Bird slayer.
Geely Judd.
5 points of bonk.
5 points of bonk. You walk forward.
Actually, I'm going to juice it with Fury of the Small for an extra 4.
So it brings it to 9 total?
9 total, yeah.
So 9 total brings it to 25 damage, which kills it. So you walk forward, first hit, boom, the wing flies up, bone charge, you duck out of the way like a trained boxer, you hop to the side, boom, another big shot to the body, you hear it crunch, you can hear parts of its bones breaking under your fist. You reach with your last hand, you kind of open palm strike and catch the back of its large kind of gizzard, and you crank and wrench back and then elbow, right into the front of its face. You hear a crunching and breaking sound as you shove the front part of its beak through the top of its head and drop it. You can just look at it and go, it's bird season. I assume that's corny enough for you, yeah?
Oh, I was going to go for one more choke chicken, but...
Oh my god. Okay, PG
You know.
stream. Adult stream.
It's a PG stream after we're riding hot dogs.
That's right. We're riding hot dogs, we're choking chickens, we're killing birds. It's just all bad stuff. Orville, is that your turn?
That'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna wrap it up after that. Okay, gotcha. Velithil, your turn.
Ride into flanking with Kenny.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
I will use my once a day inflict wounds.
Okay. You channel, and for a minute, Colt, you can see Velithil herself, these dark tattoos that are blazoned upon her body kind of pulse with this strange otherworldly feeling. She seems to be drawing energy in far beyond herself, as if she's tapped into a well beyond the mortal realm. You see this black energy coalesce in her fingertips before she reaches out.
15.
15. She moves forward, and you see this Kenku stare directly at you, the front of you, and move deftly aside. Her hand reaches beside its face and twists next to it, crackling with energy. And you hear, "Give me the shiny and your life is saved." And just does not break eye contact with you, Colt. Is that your turn, Vel?
So I'm not holding a weapon, so I'm not providing Colt advantage, right?
Correct.
It doesn't matter. Aja's going to go first. It's fine.
Okay. So Aja gives advantage to the next person to hit him?
Yeah.
Okay. Birdman is going to disengage again, because running is fun. And then we have to think about our choices now. I think a full sprint is not out of the question at this point. Yeah, he's just gonna cheese it. He'll go into a full run, and he'll move 80 feet off. Just starts running as fast as they can. That is their turn. Colt, your turn. You see at this point the avian Kenku starts running, and you see like a full sprint, like starts kind of like just running as fast as they can, blood trailing down from the sides of them.
Fighting spirit.
Mhm.
Advantage. That's my last fighting spirit.
Mhm.
Pull out the revolver.
Okay.
Aim real tight. Look at the sights. And go ahead and so I already have advantage. I'll go ahead and
inspiration too.
yeah, I'm gonna use my inspiration if it fails, and my saving face and everything. I'll use everything.
Well, saving face is for saving throws.
No, it's for attacks as well.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Saving face is really good.
It's really good. Roll at advantage. What'd you get?
I always forget to use it every time. So yeah. $18.
18. You hear across the land. You can roll damage if you want to, but at 62 hit points of damage I've already taken, you hear this crunching, cracking sound in the back, and you see just a sphere, this silver ball, trail through the back of this creature's spine to the front of its chest, and you see it just kind of stumble and stagger, and then you see it slump to the ground and just twitch, and is currently laying what you assume to be in a pile of its own blood. The sound, this echoing sound of it, disperses many of the nearby birds that are still awaiting the two other wagons. The large predatory bird looks directly in Bucky's eyes and starts hefting to fly away. Bucky, you're going to take shots on it?
I'll let it go.
Okay. JJ, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, the final effectively offensive bird hefts itself up on its large wings and soars off, and you see many of the, like, with this cacophonous explosion that's just been released. Again, explosion.exe not found because blame Kenny Omega. But you can imagine in your head how cool it would have been should I described it to you. The birds fly away in a panic, and then you all are sitting there, a moment of silence, and you can see again this pool of crimson trailing off from this individual about 80 feet away from Colt. combat is over.
Wah, wah, wah.
Colt, roll sleight of hand. Because we know you're going to do it.
Please
Yeah.
drop it.
Yeah.
Please drop it.
I'm gonna save and face it too. I don't give a shit. Well, I don't want to use an actual thing to do it.
Mhm.
All right, sleight of hand. It's a 9.
A 9. You see Colt, gun out, arm extended, leans back, tries to kind of roll it across the fingers. You hear boom, 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 and kind of like shit, fuck. Immediately, like catches it in one hand and catches it by the barrel, and just like looks around, and, like slowly just slides it into his holster. He's like, "Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be."
Oh, I should have used my inspiration on it. Oh well.
Yeah. If you want, you can. I mean, that's fair.
No, it's too late.
All
It's
right,
already happened.
Put it away. You holster the weapon. You all stand there. The birds now dispersing. Every so often, like you see like a squawk. They're still overhead, but none of them seem to want to get anywhere close to something that makes that sound. That sound in general.
That bird was an asshole.
That was horrible. JJ's gonna start hedging over to the other carts.
The two overturned wagons.
Yeah.
Okay. You head over there. For the rest of you, what do you all want to be doing?
Bucky will go over there too.
I'm gonna go inspect the Kenny.
Okay.
I'm
The
interested in the giant bearded vulture. Not bearded vulture, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go check on the horses.
Okay.
I'm gonna climb back up into the wagon because I can't catch up with anybody or walk long distances right now. So
Do you have a climber's kit, Morgan?
I have a grappling hook.
Yeah, you need it. Gunk.
You can just use an action to bring Chunkini back now too.
Yeah, so I was gonna do when I got in the wagon.
Morgan begins her long descent back into the cart. She tries to scout Mount Kilimanjaro. Let's see here. So first things first, we'll do it in order of operations. Colt, you're heading back to the cart. You're checking on the horses. Good to go there. Orville, you're inspecting the bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bone bird.
Okay, got it there. Bucky, what were you doing?
I'm just gonna go inspect the carts.
Okay.
Also.
So JJ and Bucky head to the carts, and Vel, you're examining Old Boy.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. All right, so Vel, we'll do yours first since you're off by yourself. You look over the slain corpse of this Kenku. What appears to be again like a small sphere. Is a hole in the back of its back, and it lays slumped over on its side. As you examine the body, you hop off Hot Dog, and you kind of slowly move the corpse over. You see that the entire front of its body has been blown open. The exit wound from this attack of Colts has completely just shattered the entire front of this Kenku. Its armor is in strewn leather scraps. Its bones are broken in almost like pieces. You look, and like sprawled out in front of it, there are just fragments of what used to be inside of its body. This large sphere having torn through and shattered much of its hollow bones and structure. Muscle tissue is just extraneously extrapolated across the various sides of the plains in a very gruesome scene as it was kind of laying in its own filth.
Lovely.
Roll investigation.
Uh, 19.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. You look over the individual. You find only a few things. You find a small snuff case that has pearls embedded in its kind of grip. You note its armor is completely destroyed. It has previously it had what appears to be a lovely, like, shiny bottle that was some type of wine. It is now laying in fractured shards all across the area as it quite easily shattered on impact from being shot. You look through the rest of it, and you can see that there is a small coin pouch. As you open them up, you note that there are a collection of very well-polished copper coins. At a quick glance, it totals about 83 copper coins, and they have been polished to a mirror shine. Looking through as well, you note, as you kind of like digging through, a number of these long shards of glass that seem to emanate through. They're like this, like, very polished looking glass, and it seems to have a collection of them in one of the pockets of what used to be its cloak. As you reach your hand in there, you pull out the various pieces of sharded glass, and you note that some of them have a mirror's edge to them. Eventually, your hand finds a handle, and you pull back this beautiful, at one point beautiful, platinum mirror that is missing large chunks of it, seeming as if this creature was slowly cutting pieces of the mirror off and using them as its weaponry. But the actual back to the mirror is bright silver and beautiful.
Do I think that all the pieces of the mirror are here?
I mean, some of them probably broke off inside a Colt's neck.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, you're not sure that the mirrored surface would be able to be repaired.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure, if I could mending, if I had all the pieces to it.
Yeah, you could certainly try. It would definitely be difficult to do.
Well, after giving a cursory glance, I won't immediately do that. I'll start doing detect magic just in case.
Sure. So start working on detect magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it there. Let's see here. All right. So moving right along on this end here. So we had Bucky and... Where am I here? Bucky and JJ, you were investigating the carts?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Is that... All right. You walk over to the two torn wagons. Much of the cloth and canvas has been torn away and broken. Number of broken spokes. What you assume to have once been horses are lying in skeletal remains, picked mostly like about halfway clean. Piles of flesh and meat still laying around. You do note as you walk forward a number of smaller birds that seemingly wanted to buck the trend and be a little brave, kind of like crawl out and at seeing you frighteningly run away and flock away from the area. You do come to view in the very center mass a collection and pile of various sundry goods, what appears to be various clothes, luggage, and other types of small kind of traveling goods. Everything from collections of beads to just other strange and small sundry goods that have been kind of piled up towards the middle and laying around this collection of just strewn and thrown together goods. You note a collection of 2 crates that have been partially like pecked at and broken apart that have yet to be opened. And then all in total, what appears to be a total of 6 corpses that have been mostly torn apart and pecked through. You note there to be a family of some kind and a number of small individuals, likely children, that befell this horrible individual on the road. And then you note a pair, strangely, of very, very large individuals. Their bone structure and density almost confirms immediately for Bucky that they were not human. They're looking at it, what bones remain from these creatures and this kind of like tanned hide. They were quite large.
Might have been those ogres that we sent this way.
Do they look to be maybe of ogre size?
You look it over and they're smaller than ogres but larger than people. And they have a very strange, almost tanned pallor to the texture of their skin.
Interesting. JJ is gonna look for any sort of identifying pieces of material that would maybe say who these folks were.
Sure.
And then, of course, look for like any sort of coin pouches, anything of special make.
Go ahead and give me an investigation first for identification. Bucky, what do you want to be looking for?
Bucky's gonna pull out his crowbar and check those crates.
Sure. You open up and you bust your crowbar out and start working on the 2 crates. As JJ's looking, your action is a lot quicker to perform. You pry open the lid of the first crate and you look inside and you can see a rather odd sight. There are a number of cracked and broken jars, not like shattered, but definitely like heavy, long spider cracks that run a length them. Inside this crate, you can see these jars, these clear glass, almost mason jars with heavy stoppers placed upon them. And inside are these rather large looking maggots. They are long and slender and this red crimson color. And as the light hits into it, you can see you can hear this rattling as the various bottles all begin to shake and many of them become kind of much more active.
I'll put the lid back down.
Mm-hmm. And the crate stops making noises.
I'll relay that information to JJ. Like, found some interesting bugs in here. We might want to get them checked out by Vel before we let Orville eat them.
I'm wondering if they're the same bugs that we already have or had.
Could be. The little Healy bugs.
Yeah, those things.
You note they look different than the Healy bugs. JJ, you're looking for identification?
Yep, I got a 20 on that.
You look around, there doesn't seem to be too much in the way of identification. Much of the clothing and various sundry goods are just scattered across there. Many are covered in blood, ripped apart or torn. The wagon that you kind of come to look over seems to be a family wagon. There seems to be a number of like dollies and dressings across it to kind of dress it up and make it a little bit prettier. There's no markings or bearing where the wagon came from or the identities of those who befell this horrible instance. But as you kind of look across it, you do note that whoever it was able to, of course, have access to a number of textile goods and well-made materials. It's not enough of like a pure identifier, but they're definitely from an area probably around here somewhere. Maybe a nearby settlement, village, or town. They don't seem to be individuals that you would necessarily consider to be tradespersons. Looking across the 2 larger bodies, you do discover a very heavy leather belt that's been pecked at and kind of messed, like futz with. What catches your eye is the buckle is that of a small boar's head, a skull that's been cleanly polished and affixed to the end of this belt buckle, with 2 pointed tusks that sit on the end of it. You're not one for picking apart someone's fashion, but this definitely has a tribal feel to it.
She's gonna take one of those and store it in her bag.
Sure. You can have that. You have a boar tusk belt.
Okie dokie. And then she'll just look through everything else.
Sure.
With Bucky.
Okay. Cutting back. Colt, horses are fine. Anything else you want to be doing?
I'll just I'll take a look at the cart and see if there's anything I can do to remedy if there's any major damage. I know that they were like scratching the tarp and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. You look through and yeah, there's just a bunch of like peck holes all the way through the top of the tarp. But functionally it seems fine. None of the wood or spokes are broken. Everything seems to be in order and operational as best as it can be.
All right. I suppose I'll go and join Vel and see what she's found after that.
You start making your way towards Vel. Morrigan, go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
I got a 20 on acrobatics.
Okay,
Not natural.
You begin to pull the rope forward, the wind in your hair. You look up. It's a very good POV of like a Bear Grylls moment. You start climbing the side of it. You finally reach the top of the summit and you look out onto the land and you can see Colt walking by effortlessly. And you're just like, Hey, Colt. And then you hop down into the cart. You've made it into the wagon safely.
Yay.
Yeah. Orville, what do you want to be doing with this bird?
I kind of want to figure out like how it just shot bone shards at me.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Give me your choice, nature or investigation check. Or insight. You could probably do that too.
Insight looks the best.
Sure. Go insight.
That is a 17.
17. You look over the bird, and you kind of move and you kind of lift one of its very heavy wings. You push it up and over, and immediately you're almost impaled. You see these bone shards kind of flex out at you. And as you kind of like slowly identify and look over the area and you start putting 1 and 2 together, you have a Rain Man moment. And you can see that apparently whatever these birds are, they seem to tuck the dead and the collected bones that they of their slain foes and prey underneath the inside crest of the kind of part of their muscled wing that meets the inside of their body, so that at a glance they can move and flexate their wing to jettison pieces of their prey. You assume this to be a defensive and reactionary ability, likely one they've done to ward off other predators or would-be contestants.
Nice. That's real neat. Is there anything like tucked up in the bones?
Oh, give me a investigation check.
You got it. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You sift through and slowly, now knowing a little bit of how it works, making sure to kind of pop and break the cartilage apart so the muscles can't, flexate or cause you any unforeseen consequences. You kind of scrape out the various bodies that have been tucked into its wings. You go through the left wing, not much to find. Various animal carcasses, many of which have bleached bones, denoting that they're several days old at this point, and likely just being kept either as a prize or a trophy of some kind. You flip to the other side of this wing and kind of stretch it out. Again, another number of bone shards greet you. You begin to kind of pull and scrape out and remove many of them that have been matted against these feathers and pushed into the kind of waxy filament that exudes from the very skin of this creature. And you kind of look through and there's not so much anything in particular that would be uncomfortable or an item in there. You do find a rather peculiar looking skull. It actually doesn't seem human at all, and it has a bit of an elongated snout and 2 sharp jets at the very end of its nose. Kind of has almost a flat head design.
Huh. I'll pull it out and run it by somebody who might know better.
Who's that?
Bucky, our nature guru.
All right, you start heading up to Bucky.
Oh, I'll just like take it to the cart and wait for everybody else to regroup.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sort of thing. I want to pull a few feathers as well, if that's all right.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Like a couple wingtips and a couple tail feathers and maybe a couple mane if it's got a clear head like a vulture, like I'm imagining it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually looks like a vulture. It's just much larger than a traditional vulture, being about the size of a full-grown 6 foot tall adult. And then its kind of build is a little bit more songbirdish than vulture.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is still very much a predatory bird.
Gotcha.
All right. So JJ and Bucky, back at it again. What do y'all want to be doing?
I just want to amend that she's going to take both belts.
Okay. You take both belts off the slain corpses of these individuals. You note that on one of the other belt, the secondary belt, as you look for it, you kind of pull it free from the back of this flayed flesh and bone mass that you've collected it from. Much of the leather has already been torn and chipped at, but as you pull it free, you see this small boar skull kind of covered and coated in viscera and blood. As you wipe it free, though, you note that the left tusk is capped with a small, almost thimble's worth of silver.
Once JJ's done taking stuff, Bucky will start mold earth and bury the corpses.
Okay. Necromancer cries from off screen.
Oh, do you want these?
You shout from the other side. Do you want this?
I'm casting a ritual. I don't know this is happening.
Yeah. So you'll start on that. Vel, you finish casting detect magic, right?
Yeah.
And you look upon the area. You note various small, very much fading magical auras existing against shards of glass that exist in the pile. The mirror in your hand, specifically the silver back of it, does radiate with a fair bit of magic. You're trained in Arcana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focusing in on it, it seems to have some form of divination magic.
Would I believe that it still holds its power at this point? Or would I need to identify to get a feeling for that even though it's been broken?
You definitely know that it's been broken, but the fact that the arcane aura is still prominent enough to detect it as such bodes well. Likely it could be fixed if you were to able to find an artificer or some other type of worker that would have expertise in magical items that are very much like a trade, like you need a precision arcane individual to fix something like this. Not your everyday hokey magic sword maker.
Or do I think it would be a wise idea to mend what I could, or to just gather the pieces?
You know, one way or another, I mean, the front of this mirror is shit, broken.
Okay.
It doesn't seem that the actual the mirror side of it is what held the magic, though.
Okay.
This backing seems to be the thing that was enchanted.
Okay.
Colt, you rejoin Vel.
So, find anything cool, I guess. I don't know what to do. Everybody's doing something.
Yeah, look at the way you blew the whole front half of him out. It's really cool, honestly. That's pretty cool. Oh, this me is magical too, but it needs to be repaired. I keep finding broken things. Need to get them fixed.
Yep, this does that sometimes.
He says it.
I don't think you
the whole
did
front of
this
it
because he was
breaks.
using shards of it to stab people.
Oh, well. All right.
You definitely broke that bottle.
Right, throw some
Probably had
chew
some
in.
nice wine in it for Bucky.
Throw some chew in the back end.
Right. Is there anything in the snuff case?
You open it up.
I'll check to see if it's booby trap first.
You look at the snuff case, and the snuff case is not full of boobies or traps.
Good.
But
Disappointing in one part, but good.
you do click it open, and the kind of pearl grips snap open. So it's a little small case. You twist the two snaps, they come apart. You open up, and the purse stares at you from the inside, as it is full of plucked eyeballs.
You know, I was kind of hoping that to be something that you would enjoy in here. But honestly, it's something I enjoy. This is really neat.
Yeah, I don't want that. I was hoping for some high quality chew or snuff or whatever. That's just eyeballs.
Do I need eyeballs? Right? I might need eyeballs in the future. I'm going to hold on to these. I hope now they'll probably decay.
That's really weird.
What?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Oh, I am sorry though. There's a lot of bones around here. I probably did not need your teeth earlier.
I mean, birds don't have teeth, so you still.
But there's
need-
a lot
you
of other
still
dead
need it.
people and animals.
Yeah, but it's kind of late now to say that. I mean, I already pulled out half my jaw for it, so.
I know, and that's why you really need to maybe not jump at something so ridiculous.
I mean, someone asked for a tooth, so I was
I
ready
did,
to
but
give
I
it to.
didn't think you were going to go so. Still, thank you.
Listen,
You want any eyeballs?
a lot of people say my body is a temple. My body's like a brothel. I don't care. You do whatever with it. It don't matter.
Why? Why are you like this? Who
Oh,
made you
Coach.
this way? Who hurt you? Was it me?
You have quite the way with words, and I'm sure that's very flattering to your orcs.
Yeah, they all tell me that, I guess. They probably don't. I don't know. Anyway, we should probably get out of here pretty soon. What time is it?
At this point, it's just a bit past noon, so the fight didn't take very long at all, and everything leading up to it was only inside of maybe a span of about 10 or so minutes. So at this point, it's about 2, almost 3-ish, maybe.
While we are walking back, would I see the pile of bones that Orville has been plucking out of the bird?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You see a pile of white bones, and bone shards that have been picked and broken apart.
Colt,
Yeah.
I need to start collecting materials for things that I'll be doing in the future. Do you think we could gather some of these bones for me? Keep them in the cart? We can put them in a bag. No one will have to see them. I want to get a chest for them later. I have this really fun idea where I can animate skeletons, then have them hide in a chest, and then we'll open it up and scare people.
Alright, that's weird.
What's weird? What's weird
I'm gonna
about
go
it?
start collecting bones.
Oh,
Well, it's just like,
Murmuring to myself, like,
I didn't
oh,
mean that
Colt,
you.
take care of the horses. Colt,
I-
get
I wasn't
stabbed in the
asking
neck.
you to.
Oh,
Colt,
Colt.
Colt. I wasn't asking you to do it. Just making sure everyone was. I want everyone to be okay with the fact that I'm going to store bones in the wagon. So I'm starting with you because you're next to me.
I mean, that's kind of weird, and my survival skill as well as instincts probably say we don't want a lot of dead things around us.
They're
Come from
bleached
just,
white. These
just
are they're
bodies everywhere of
perfect.
birds.
I'm not going to take the meaty ones that. Oh, he's burying them. Damn it. These bleached white ones. They're not going to stink up anything. They're perfect. These are excellent skeleton material.
That's weird.
it's weird.
I don't,
really
what's
weird.
weird?
Like, it's really weird. Like, I
You
don't,
people know nothing about recycling.
I don't feel comfortable saying yes to that request, but you're gonna do you. I mean, you're co-captain. You make half the decisions in a way or whatever.
I'm just letting you know, like, if I won't
We-
do these things that would disturb everyone, but it does diminish my abilities if we don't allow me to have access to the materials I'll be needing in the future.
I mean, Vel, I mean this with all due respect, and I love you as a friend, but you do weird shit all the time. And
I can't hold my arms out and look at my shadow arm. Like, what are you talking about?
you do weird, uncomfortable, crazy shit all the time. I mean, you summoned these like giant dogs that one time.
I do not summon giant dogs.
Okay, you made a dog real giant
I
after
did.
shooting people.
Actually,
or
I
something.
didn't. That was a servant of Vito. And I'm getting a magic item hopefully tonight that will make sure that doesn't happen again.
You wanted that bag of bloody squirrels I had that went bad. You just wanted the bones out of it.
I
You
did
didn't
just
even
want the
anything
bones.
else.
And now I want more bones. Are you putting 2 and 2 together yet? Bones, they're great.
I mean, I've met lizard folk that probably wouldn't have touched that bag. And I mean, they make
I don't
tools
believe
out of
you.
anything.
I
Yeah.
don't believe you.
We don't support the anything Colt Honeycutt says that's racist against lizard folk. Okay. The views and opinions expressed by Colt Honeycutt are not that of the party.
Good grief. Am I gonna get canceled?
Yeah, 100%.
Listen, Colt. I'm going to need resources eventually, and this is an excellent opportunity. We can't even identify these at all.
Alright, you can.
And they're
keep
not
your
going to
bones.
stink up anything. They're
As
bleached
long as
bones.
everyone else is okay with it, then you can keep your bones. I mean, I don't really care. Just think it's real weird. Like,
I
real
don't
weird.
know why you find these things weird. It's
Because-
just necromat is perfectly normal.
No, it's not. It's not normal at all. That's really weird. Like it's as weird as when I had a moment of weakness and I decided to pull out my tooth. Weird. Like
As one does.
hindsight, that was an extreme reaction. Now that I think about it,
I was surprised.
to the request.
I was very happy. It was very kind of you. Like that's people just tear their teeth out for me. It was very nice. And now you're regretting it? You know what? Whatever. I'm going to gather these bones and go ask anyone else if they care or want
Alright.
any.
Vel starts to one-handedly, like a crazy old miner at a poker table, scooping up chips of bones. Yeah, there's gold in them there bones.
If I can, I want to gather enough that would be considered 2 piles of skeletons for the future.
Sure. Okay.
if that's possible.
It takes some time, but if it's popsicle, it's possible. These aren't human bones, by the way.
No, but the spell just specifies a pile of bones.
Correct. Just letting you know.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an awesome monstrosity.
You ain't wrong. So back to JJ and Bucky. Colt, you head off to join them.
Yeah.
Okay. Orville, you tuck the skull in the cart. What do you want to do past that?
I don't know. I guess I'll check in with Morgan, make sure everything's all right.
You set the skull down, look to Morgan. Morgan stands there. Action pose, having scaled Mount Cartamanjaro.
Gonna thumbs up him.
Thanks. You did great out there. Anyway, I found this neat skull. Big bird had it tucked up in his feathers. I don't know what it is. Maybe Bucky
Pretty
might.
cool. What do you do with it?
I don't really know. I just thought it was neat.
Fair enough. Pretty cool.
Thanks.
Nice bird hunting out there.
Thank you. You know, I think I still got some feathers stuck between my toes. Hold on one sec. Orville's gonna sit up on the cart and start plucking feathers from between his toes where he stomped these poor birds.
Kicked the
out of
shit out of him.
existence.
I'm just gonna kind of look away and just shake my head and then start summoning Chonkini.
You wave your hand and the sound of the dinner bell rings. You ding 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 ding, and slowly out of the ether, these three heavy globules of light collect and collide, and you just hear meow, meow, meow. It walks up and slowly brushes up against the entire side of you. And you just hear. And you have a very happy purring kitty. All right. Back to our crew at the mess. Crew at the mess. Bucky, JJ, Colt, you slowly arrive. What do you all want to be doing? Bucky, you've buried most of them at this point. The two larger creatures are deep enough to be considered complete, and the seeming family are all buried.
I'm gonna tell Colt back up into the crate.
Huh?
Just Colt, look in those crates over there.
All right. I'll open the crates.
Okay. You open the one crate Bucky opened, the first crate he opened, and you see these small kind of like creatures that are like, they're almost like maggots in a way. They have a crimson coat, and they're in these large kind of glass bottles that have cracks along the side of them, clearly damaged from whatever caused this. They begin to wiggle and writhe as the sunlight hits them.
That's weird. I think Vel should probably take a look at this.
How far away are we from the cart?
From the cart? You guys are about 100 feet or so away from the cart. A little over.
I'll call over Vel.
Val! Val!
Ooh, this is a good one.
Val!
What?
There's magic shit.
Oh. I will settle the bones I've gathered so far in a nice little pile and go over to check the shit out that they're asking for me.
All right, Dad yells at you about Legos or something, you don't know, and you're just like, fucking, you're gonna leave your Kinects at home. So you wander over, you see Colt standing in front of one open crate, and kind of has like the lid in his hands, and you see these creatures sitting in glass jars.
What are they?
I don't know. They're bugs. They look like. Do they look similar to the Healy bugs, or
No.
completely different?
They're like almost a red sheen maggot.
People don't put bugs in jars for no reason.
I mean, maybe they're an entomologist.
Did you not recognize what they are, Bucky?
I didn't roll it or anything for it, but Bucky doesn't know.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to ask. I didn't.
Do I have any idea?
Are you trained in nature?
No.
You are trained in Arcana, and you are a necromancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Give me a general knowledge check, just intelligence. Let's see if it'll be a higher DC, but there's a chance you would know what these are.
Probably not. I got a 10.
A 10? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some kind of maggot in a jar.
Well,
Would your detect
definitely-
magic still be going?
Last 10 minutes, probably towards the end of it. Yeah.
yeah, 10 minutes.
Yep.
It's up to Kareem.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do I get anything?
Roll perception, because technically the spell doesn't help, but I think it's fun.
Oh, that's a higher number. That's a good number. And I have a +3, so that's a 21.
21. You don't detect anything outwardly as you angle the spell over and canvas the area, but you do sense the hints and trails of a strong aura of magic emanating from the other crate.
Well, these are bugs, but there's definitely something magic in that crate. Did you look at it yet?
Not yet. I'll get my crowbar out and pry it open.
Okay. You get your crowbar, break it, and slide it open. At the top of the crate are kind of collections of straw that have been bundled and stuffed into this area. And it seems to be mostly made of straw. You going to reach in there and dig around?
I'll look for any kind of traps or anything on it.
Sure. You look around. The straw does not seem trapped.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reach in there and
You
look
reach
at it
in there?
and see what's in there.
And then 15 bear traps go off all at once. I'm kidding. No, you reach into this crate, this stuffed crate, and again, this is like wheat that's been just shoved in here haphazardly. You reach down, you finally place your hands on something cold, like dismally cold, and you slowly kind of grasp it and pull it forward, and you produce what appears to be almost like a very ornate and very strange looking bottle. It is a platinum make, crafted and very lovingly so, in the visage of a woman. The top part where her head would meet her shoulders seems to be a stopper. So her head actually is the stopper. And in her hands, she holds a long sword over the front of her. And there seems to be an effigy of wings that encase the sides of her. On the back end of it, you see what can only be described as a strange rippling effect, almost like water splashing from like the falling rain. The bottle itself is very, very, very ornate and very, very precisely made. At a cautionary glance, this is probably worth well over its weight in gold, just in how well made it is.
Can I tell the School of Magic?
Yeah, the bottle itself is not magical. Something inside of it is, though.
And I can't get a read on that?
No, technically you can't read anything through over an inch of metal.
Oh, it's platinum, right? Okay.
It's a platinum bottle.
Shiny.
There's something magical inside there.
Can I do a history check to see if there's any sort of symbolism and
Sure.
any sort of stories to that kind of lady?
Can I do an Arcana check to try and identify what this could be inside a bottle like this?
Sure. So JJ, what did we get first?
14 for history.
14 for history. You look it over and you begin to kind of like try to figure it out and just see like the strange, like kind of just curious look and make to this thing, trying to put together in piece whatever you're able to kind of figure out and move through. As you examine it, the one thing that is kind of strange to it, or rather curious about it, is you note that while the effigy on the front and kind of the iconography is fitting for a number of different religious symbols or places of worship or things of that sort. There's just something off about it that doesn't quite add up the way it should. You look to the bottom of it and you note the bottom is stamped with what appears to be a person's eye with a large eyebrow that's been carved into it. Specifically, let me see if I can save this. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can do this. Looks like that. Stamped on the bottom of this bottle.
Does she recognize that symbol at all?
Are you trained in religion?
No.
Then no. Vel, what do we get for Arcana?
22.
22. Looking it over, this is rather strange, rather curious. Overall, it seems to be a very ornate make, overly so. There seems to be a number of symbology and iconography across it that is unrecognizable to most normal folk. As JJ points out, the very bottom, the eye at the bottom, you are not completely sure that you know exactly who this is, even with a 22. Are you trained in religion?
I'm not.
Yeah. You look it over and you're like, you don't know the name and you don't quite know what it's made of, but you have actually seen this symbol carved into a number of things back home. For those that delve in the transmutative circles.
Got it.
I think we might as well bring this along with us, maybe.
Is there anything else in that crate, or was that everything in it?
You look it over and yeah, you dump it out. You go through it. There's stacks of wheat. There at the very bottom, there are these large kind of weights. They're actually just like solid chunks of like rock that have been polished that have weights like the actual pounds are carved into the stone. It looks like this box was weighted down to make it seem like it was more important than it was, or attempting to be passed off as something it isn't. Looking it over and scouring it through, it looks as if just this single platinum bottle is what sits inside of it.
Somebody was smuggling this thing. Must be worth a lot.
Oh, it is definitely valuable. And I don't know the association or who the symbol belongs to. But I have seen it in associations with people who use transmutation. This could be a potion of some sort that could cause an unknown change. I could try and identify it. I don't know if it's safe to open though.
I don't like
That's
the way
my
that eyeball's
concern.
looking at me, so I don't want to open it. As zealous as I was about removing my tooth earlier, I don't feel comfortable doing the same opening this bottle. Just wanted to announce that.
I'll try to identify it just through the bottle and see if I can get anything.
Sure.
If we want to take a bit of time for me to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I mean, I think, to be honest, we still got a lot of dead bodies around here, and it's going to start getting dark soon.
It's
We may want to
noon.
head out.
It's like 3.
Well,
It's like 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, I thought when
Yeah.
you said afternoon, you meant like.
No,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, it was like 1-ish when you guys left Tibber.
Well,
Been
it
trying
only
for a couple
take
hours.
me
More
11 minutes to
predators.
do this.
I just don't want more predators to be attracted by all these dead bodies, or more birds that are going to try to eat shit.
Well,
All right, so I guess I'm going to ask this: does everyone want me to carry the new spooky thing? People don't like to carry the spooky
mean-
things.
You're already carrying bones and shit. I mean, you can
No, I'm
carry.
not. They're on the ground over there. You asked me to come over here.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I'll carry it if you want me to do it. If you want to handle other
I
stuff.
don't mind. It's just
Bother.
really can't even say for sure that it's spooky. It's
Yeah.
intriguing, is what it is.
I mean,
I'll try and identify it later when
yeah,
we're at camp.
yeah, we could always show
what?
it to the other folks too. They might know some. Who knows? Why not?
We could.
Well, the fact that they were trying to hide this makes me think that we should keep it close to our chest as well until we're ready to, get rid of it or use it.
But we'll only use it once we understand what it is.
Yeah, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere too for a hot
And
while.
if nothing else, identifying the bottle may give me insight to what's inside, even if I don't learn. Much like the lantern from before. We'll know if there's something in it then. Someone in it.
Certainly.
But I can do that once we've made camp, if we want to just head off now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'd rather get out of this area. And
You want to hold on to it, JJ?
Sure, why not? I'll do that.
Right, they have a platinum bottle.
Bucky's gonna look through the crate with the worms in the bottles again, and try to find a couple that are like the most intact, and wrap them in like one of the skins that he took from the blink dogs.
Okay. Give me a investigation check before you do that. I'll be nice.
An 8.
An 8. Yeah, you look through and you're like, okay, I'm gonna search through here. You reach down, you grab like the top mason jar and pull it, and the bottom breaks out of it, and you see one of these creatures lunge forward at you, and you do a dexterity saving throw.
An 11.
An 11. Everyone in attendance, you watch as this creature lunges, kind of like Bucky pulls up this like glass mason jar and he's like, okay, careful, and you see it just slam its maggot-like head into the side of the glass, and the bottom shatters out of it. It lands nearby, like on Bucky, and you see it kind of lurch up and strike, and you see it affix itself into the side of Bucky's neck, and it begins to worm its way into his throat.
Uh-oh.
What do you guys want to do?
oh shit. I'm gonna grab Bucky and try to see if I can grab its tail before it worms its way all the way in.
Sure. You turn and look, and Bucky, and you reach your hand for it. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh. 5.
You reach for it and you grab the butt end of it. You just barely manage to grab the ass end of this thing, and you yank back and rip the ass of it off of it. And you see it worm its way deeper into Bucky's skin. You can see this large lump in the side of Bucky's neck as it begins to move down his trachea. Colt, the small ass end that you're holding slowly begins to twist, and you see these small, almost like phalanges begin to rise out of the small piece you're holding in your fingers. They begin to...
Throw it on the ground. Step on it.
You throw it on the ground, you step on it and crunch it, and it makes a satisfying... Bucky, you start feeling this thing move down your throat. I need you to make me a sanity check.
Oh. What is that?
Intelligence?
Intelligence?
Mm-hmm. Intelligence saving throw.
6.
6. You lose a point of sanity as you start feeling this thing move down. A bit of beads of sweat collect on your forehead. You're, guys, it's in me. Like the panic starts overtaking you a little bit. What do you guys want to do?
Can I cast Dissonant Whispers on it?
You can't see it.
I don't need to see it.
Let's see here. Let's find out together. 5e Dissonant Whispers.
My question would be the same thing for Chill Touch.
You cast Dissonant Whispers, it saves.
Doesn't have ears.
Correct.
Okay.
What about Chill Touch?
Chill Touch requires an attack roll, doesn't it?
It does, but it says the space of the creature within range. It doesn't say.
Create a ghostly skill to hand in the space of a creature within range. Make a ranged attack roll against the creature to assail it. You have to be able to target one creature you can see.
Okay.
It is against a creature.
How close is it to his neck? Or his
it's in his skin. It's burrowed itself into his skin, and it's now this massive looking lump in the side of his throat.
Cut it out, get it out.
Yeah, but I'm not trained in medicine, but can I roll a medicine or even survival check to know if I were to try to cut it out, if I'm going to rip him open and kill him?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
7, can I saving face?
Yeah, saving face. So you add 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are there. So you go to an 11.
Yeah.
You're not sure if you'll kill him or not, but you know that if this thing has enough time to burrow into his body, you might never find it again. And whatever it's going to do to his body is going to happen.
JJ takes out the wand of cure wounds and a dagger and just goes after Buggy's neck. Stay still.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and...
Cut it out.
Are you trained in medicine?
No.
No? Okay, roll to hit.
Jimmy all over again.
Mm-hmm.
$11.
11. You strike out and go to stab at it. You see it move at the last second. You impale your knife into the side of Bucky's throat. Go ahead and roll your dagger damage as if you had rolled a critical. Bucky, you feel this thing gain speed and begin to move closer down to the edge of your trap, and you can feel it beginning to shunt and push the cartilage of your neck apart from the front of your chest as it begins to burrow deeper.
10
Bucky,
damage.
you have torches on you, right?
10 damage, Bucky.
Okay.
She's gonna healing word Bucky immediately.
Okay.
I take a torch off of Bucky, use prestidigitation to light it, and I'm gonna try and affix it to the spot to burn his skin and the thing under it.
5 health, Bucky.
You light the torch and say "fuck it," and you shove the end of the torch right where the lump is in the front of Bucky. As Bucky's kind of showing the front of his chest, you can see this big, massive, writhing lump. You press the front of this torch to the edge of it. You feel your skin rip, tear, and break, and you start feeling a hissing sound. Vel pushes the torch in, and you feel the front of your skin rip, and this gooey red ooze slowly begins to pour from the front of your chest. The lump dissipates.
I think that got it.
I'm
For
glad
now.
you carry torches, and I'm glad that worked.
Thank
Then
you.
I will hand Bucky the torch.
You have a burning torch in there. With the
When
burning
we don't
torch
know
in
what
hand,
something is, we probably don't need to take it.
Yeah, just burn the whole goddamn thing.
as you are holding a torch, Bucky, you start hearing this shrieking sound emanating from the rest of the crate.
Should we actually burn this, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, alright. Bucky chucks the torch at it.
You throw the torches, you throw the one torch into the open box of glass. You hear a shattering sound as the wooden torch makes connection, and slowly it goes up in fire immediately. You start hearing this screaming sounds of these creatures being burned alive as the box engulfs immediately. You start hearing as these creatures begin to boil and bubble, the flames immediately igniting their slime-like hides, and they are sent far beyond here. And that is where we'll stop for tonight. For everyone who stayed with us, I do appreciate it. We went way over time, but, you know, at this point, I'm just going to start being like, plan for 11, y'all. Like, who knows? Like, we tend to do it anyway. If people are cool for it, no one's like, I really gotta go, that's how we're gonna do it. But that is where we will end for tonight. We'll pick back up right from this very minute next Monday. Same time, same place, same all that stuff with your grace. Let's see who we can. Let's raidify somebody. Where they say always be raiding, my lord. So with that, we thank you guys for tuning in, staying late. It's heck of a run to do that. But for everyone here, we'll see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next part of Second Wake. Don't bring your wormies. But for everyone else, we thank you. Peace out.